And Orlando Arcia, the Brave shortstop, who uses an interpreter when he does interviews, was doing an impersonation of, he wasn't doing an impersonation. He was saying in English, "Attaboy, Harper. Attaboy, Harper," after the running snafu.
Do we know that he knows what that means, though?
He kept doing it over and over, so much so that he was being heard on people doing other interviews of other players. You could hear him in the background, and every time he would do it, the people around him would laugh. So he knew he was putting on a show. Attaboy, Harper.
You don't think Matt Olson said, "Hey, do this, say this one word, okay, or say this sentence." You don't know what it means, but let's say this.
You could. So every time Harper hit a home run, you got this. Show me that picture. This is a great photo from center field of a photographer out there who missed it the first time. This is the second home run. Bryce Harper staring directly. And is that not a fantastic photo?
It's a well-timed. This is such a... I mean, athletes do this all the time. Michael Jordan was the king of this, like taking some sort of perceived slight and turning it into an incredible performance.
That looks
in
Photoshop.
hindsight, I am going to say, though Arcia, I don't think meant anything bad by this. It was a bad idea on his part.
I just got word Danny Moore is doing the stare.
It'd be fantastic. You don't think you'd sell a ton of those in Philadelphia?
In Philadelphia. I had a buddy text me yesterday. He said, he was up in the second deck behind home plate. He said these fans are insane. And watching that is playoff baseball.
Yeah. No doubt.
Philadelphia fans are some of the most passionate in all sports.
Yeah, they're bad and good. They're awful at times. They're great at times.
But this goes back to what you say, and I agree in the regular season. There is something about a home field advantage in postseason baseball, and Philadelphia had that yesterday.
They did. Let's listen to the reaction of this Orlando Arcia comment from after Game 2 in Atlanta when the Braves walked it off with that double play. So Bryce Harper gets asked afterwards about Arcia's attaboy comment. Is it anything they've been discussing? Please notice that Bryce, embracing the villain role, wears a black Phillies hat to the postgame. Go ahead, Bryce.
Bryce, how much motivation did the comment from the Braves shortstop give you going into the game?
No, I mean, it's a super competitive game that we play. And, from both sides of the ball. Everybody's competitive that we play against, and I just really enjoy those moments and the opportunity to play this game and have those moments.
Was there any motivation?
I mean, anytime anybody says something, right? I mean, that's what it's all about.
Did you enjoy staring him down?
Yeah, I mean, I stared right at him.
Oh, he did. He stared right at him.
Hey, that first bomb he hit, my gosh.
I mean, that ball was destroyed.
Yeah. And the second one wouldn't have made it out of Chase Field. Asked Chris Taylor last night. God, I tell you, three teams. Baltimore, 100 wins. Dodgers, 100 wins. Now the Braves on the brink of elimination.
Go in Tampa Bay, 99.
Yeah. The forgotten team.
Daniel says this is on Snitker. Bryce Elder should never have been in that situation. Managerial malpractice, he says. I don't pretend to know the other options there. Obviously, that one did not work. So I don't know what else you're going to do.
For a little bit, it was looking good with it. The sun was shining on their pitching eye, the big green screen that they have in the outfield. And that lost in the shadows was that breaking, diving pitch they were swinging by. But as Schwarber said after the game, once the shadows hit our pitching eye out in center field, it was different.
It would have looked brilliant if you would have pulled Elder after 6 outs.
Yeah.
It would have been like, damn, you got this thing working.
Before that 6th spot? He gave up for the third? Right before that?
Yeah, before Philadelphia basically unloaded and that game was over.
Yeah, so now you get to Travis d'Arnaud, the catcher of the Braves, who gets asked about, okay, Orlando Arcia made those comments inside the Braves locker room. The Phillies all used it as motivation going into this game. How does he feel about comments made not on camera in the locker room, leaking out and becoming motivation for the Phillies? Here's d'Arnaud.
Orlando's a great person. I mean, he was joking around, but it screws all the other reporters and everybody who comes in here and has been great with us all year. And we feel like this is a sanctuary where we come to work every day and try to have fun. And when things get out, which I'm sure other teams say things as well, it's not a good feeling, and it makes nobody wants to be in the clubhouse for all the people that are good people.
He's probably right about that. I don't know really. I mean, obviously I wasn't there. So, I mean, it's an open locker room. So a reporter's going to report on what they see and hear in an open locker room when it's an open locker room.
To your point is it's an open locker room to a certain point, and then they'll close it down and
That's
they
right.
move all the media out.
Yep.
And then it's their sanctuary again. But there are moments pre-game and post-game in baseball that the locker room has an open period where the reporters, a lot of them, baseball writers associations, they, blah, 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 blah. They have all these great rules are in there, and you got to know when to, and people make announcements there. The PR people, hey, guys, here come the media.
Well, I've very, very few times been in an open baseball locker room, but I will never forget the first time I was ever in one. It was in Atlanta in the old Turner Field. And not every player, that's what you got to understand, is not every player comes in there either. Like, they don't have to be in there.
No, they don't. In fact, I was going to point out as soon as you were finishing this, the times I've been in there was back in the 90s. A lot of the players you would want to hang out with or talk to, they were somewhere else.
Yeah, like I remember, the two things I remember about it was just a regular season Braves game in August. Three things I remember about it. Regular season Braves game in August, and I was over there with the late Ben Cook. I rode over with him, and we were going to interview some Braves players.
Little Cook's Corner.
Little Cook's Corner, baby. And, Ben was a huge baseball guy, loved baseball. So we rode over there, and he knew everybody. Three things that jumped out at me. Number one, John Smoltz was the Braves' biggest star at that time, one of them. He didn't do any interviews. He had to walk in and get somebody to sign a baseball, like for charity or something. And I'll just never forget, he was wearing blue jean shorts, a golf shirt tucked in, and a braided belt. And I was like, man, that is a look for a guy that's got millions of dollars.
A Michigan State kid, right?
Blue jean shorts, braided belt, and tucked in golf shirt.
Yeah.
Now, this is mid-90s, right? Or I guess this is the 2000s. I was working at Jocks. This is the 2000s.
He probably had played 18 holes of golf and fished before he came to the clubhouse.
Blue jean shorts. The second thing I remember is one of the guys we were going to interview was Leo Mazzoni, and we did it at his locker, and the smell coming out of his locker, because he was sitting in his chair, and Ben just kind of squatted down and talked to him. And I was just standing there, and I was like, God, the smell coming out of this locker is awful. And I asked Ben later, I said, did you smell it? He goes, oh, yeah, it was pretty bad. I don't know what it was, but Leo Mazzoni's like,
It's when they needed to stick up.
Yeah.
You remember the stick
Yeah, I
ups?
do.
Yeah. Sweaty
And-
shoes,
yeah.
probably socks.
And the other thing I remember is, and this is what I was getting to, Andrew Jones is on the cell phone in Spanish having it out with somebody. Like, I mean, at the top of his lungs, yelling in Spanish at somebody on the cell phone. And I just remember, that when this came out, I remember thinking, I don't know, would you have reported on that? Like, Andrew Jones walked through the locker room yelling at somebody on a cell phone. It was an open locker room, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what's on limits or off limits. there.
Here's the thing. The motivation for Bryce Harper is you're tied up at one apiece. You guys blew a big lead in game two, and this is a must win. This isn't about Arcia. Look, it might have been extra motivation, but I think it is more about we feel comfortable talking to you guys. We allow you access into our clubhouse, and for you to run with that. I mean, do we really believe that's why Bryce Harper had such a big game?
His players commented. I mean, Zach Wheeler says you poked him, man.
I mean, he was staring at Arcia, both home
poked him.
runs.
But that team was poked. Like, I really don't. I still think he hits home runs without Arcia saying that.
It's a you never know. You never know. But I will point this out. The Phillies bullpen, they played this cool game. I didn't know about it until I was reading about it today. I don't know the financial terms. We'll just call them units, right? That's what we do at lanceslike.com, units, whatever their units are. I don't know how much they put on it each game, but you get to throw your hat down one time during the game on a batter. You choose whenever you want to do it. And if you throw your hat down and that batter hits a home run, then you collect the pot.
Whatever units are on the board?
Whatever units you are playing for.
Bryce Harper's a 10-unit hitter right now.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that the guys that were telling the story, one guy jumped the gun early with Schwarber on the first at bat, and he threw his hat down. Well, you can only throw it one time.
That's
so
right. He's done
out.
for the night. Yep.
He said when Bryce came up, when he hit his first home run, there were three hats that went down.
Everybody's throwing their hat.
Three hats that went down on the first one. And when he came up when he hit the next home run, he said the rest of the bullpen threw their hats down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, who else? Schwarber possibly, but I mean, if you've got to have a guy in the moment, there's a reason that he's got the most home runs ever in divisional series history.
Bottom line is, if the Braves can't be motivated today by the Philly fans doing the chop and saying we want Strider, then they don't have a hair on their balls. I mean, if you're looking for motivation,
Speaking of hair on balls, manscaped.com. Promo code next round.
Manscaped.com. Yep, go there right now.
No, they're going to have motivation nights. Strider is, I think, 8-0 in regular season starts against the Phillies, but he's 0-2 in the postseason. I mean, this is the biggest start in the 24-year-old's in his career, by far, not even close.
So that's tonight, 7 o'clock. It's on TBS. Be a fun watch tonight. Good football. Got the Braves going tonight. Just wonderful atmosphere there in Philly. Hopefully we can get back to Atlanta and play a good game on Saturday. Another day off, so you'll see bullpen. You'll do everything tonight. Both teams will try to pull everything out to try to win this game tonight. Braves to stay alive. Phillies to try to finish it off before you go back to Atlanta. The other series are done. D-backs sweep the Dodgers, winning me a steak. Thank you for that gift. And Astros are back in the ALCS. The 7th straight year they've been in the championship series, and they're one short of tying the Braves, who did it 8 straight times back in the 90s. All right, that's your baseball. We'll get to the football in a second. Let's tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at Redmont Vodka.
Yeah, gluten-free, 8 times distilled. It's a locally owned and operated product available in 22 states. If you're in a bar or restaurant, ask for it by name if they don't have it. Tell them to get it. Charles Barkley, one of the great faces behind it, available at your local package ABC stores. Get it this weekend. It is Redmont Vodka.
And also by a friend, Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing. You know, if you haven't had that roof inspected in quite some time, even if it was back in the spring or last year, probably needed inspected again. Just one summer thunderstorm with a little bit of hail for as easy as 15 or 20 seconds can cause some roof damage that can put some water entry points up on your roof, bend a shingle, loosen a shingle, stress some point around some joints up there that can just get the water in. Greg gives you that free, no cost, no obligation roof inspection. If you call this number, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, locally owned for over 20 years. Look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City. It is Storm Restoration Roofing. He and his wife run that company. Great folks right there. Trust them like a lot of Next Round viewers and listeners have in the past. All right, so that's the baseball. Now to football. Roman Harper's our first guest. He's coming up in the next segment. We get this question every now and then about Jimbo Fisher, but the question becomes this weekend, is now this the biggest game in Jimbo Fisher's coaching time at Texas A&M?
I think, anytime he wins or loses, this season, this topic's going to come right back up. Now that they've lost 2 games, they've lost to Alabama again, the way they lost to Miami, and the fact that we're not even to Halloween, they're out of the SEC West almost. They're definitely out of the national championship hunt.
To your point, their 2 biggest games so far has been Miami and Alabama.
And
they're
lost
0-2.
Yep, 0-2. And I think this is going to come up every time he loses a game now. This discussion about, do they have enough money? Are they starting to pass the plate? Are the oil men ready to go? Price per barrel's up $100, whatever.
Yeah, and now it's not like if they win, I don't think A&M fans are really excited. I think if they lose, it's a bigger deal. Last week was his biggest game. That was all the momentum. Everything was in, everything on the table. We lost that. Every A&M fan to a man knows he's got to go. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, and it's just when you get to that breaking point with the rich guys, when they've seen enough. And, would a loss at Tennessee be enough? My gosh, what are you, 3-3 if they lose that game? Is that their record?
Yeah.
3-3 through 6 games. I don't think there's an A&M fan out there that thought they'd be 3-3. Now, they might have thought we're still going to lose to Alabama.
Yeah.
We'll be 5-1.
70 to 77 million, depending on who you listen to and when they do the firing, whatever. 70 to 77 million. Brown points this out. Buyouts, they don't get paid as often as you think they do, or as big as you think they do. Gus Malzahn believed to be the record at $21.45 million on the buyout, so it would be a huge deal for Texas A&M to buy out. I know it's your upset alert this week. I don't know if you feel the same on Thursday as you did on Tuesday.
I guess the way I look at this is A&M coming off a physical loss to Alabama. That's always a problem, but I think A&M's better than Tennessee. Yeah. And I talked to our friend Tom Luganbill yesterday on Spit and Lugs, and we talked about the quarterback comparison between Max Johnson and Joe Milton, and he agreed with me that the better option is Max Johnson. And the better team is Texas A&M. Now, whether or not that plays out, we'll see. I don't know where A&M is as a team now, because everything you were playing for is gone.
Seems to be gone, exactly, because Alabama would need to lose 2 games. the motivation,
Well-
because this Texas A&M team, I don't know how you feel, Brown, last year when it started to go off the rails, did this team, I don't want to use the word quit, but it became a fractured locker room, and this team didn't finish well last year.
They did not, and I'll tell you, what worried me about Ole Miss after they played Alabama. What they get next? Arkansas, right? What worried me about Ole Miss after they played Alabama is the same thing that worries me about Texas A&M. Now, you put so much, in Ole Miss's case, their coach put so much emotional pressure into that game, right? So much emotion into that game, and you lose the game. Last year for Ole Miss, they had a disaster after they lost to Alabama. Now, they've won again, so maybe they're past it. But that worries me about A&M. That game, you can tell it's very personal for the A&M players. I don't know where all that came from. I don't know if it comes from the coaches or if they just inside the locker room, but a lot of emotional capital went into that. And now you have to go on the road and do it, where I cannot independently confirm, but was that right in the chat room that they have not won a road game since 2021?
Jimbo Fisher has now lost 7 straight true road games.
Yeah, according to Bob, the last A&M road win, October 16, 2021 at Missouri.
7 straight true road games. Can't count Arlington, neutral site.
That's right, yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you think about some of these big programs. Florida brought these numbers up yesterday. Hasn't Auburn lost 7 consecutive?
7 straight
SEC.
road SEC
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, because they won at Cal. So that doesn't affect your. I mean, I know you went A&M, even with that road record. Huh?
Can I throw one more?
You're not going to talk them off A&M.
Tennessee's won 12 straight at Neyland.
Not going to talk me off of it.
What
Better coach Josh Heupel.
Yeah.
I've got one that's going to help you, though.
Come on.
Max Johnson has a stomach
Give me
virus.
some, because in the handicapping business, handicappers typically, whatever the thing is, the last time they played in blue, they won by 35. So find me an angle that's positive for the Aggies.
When the third quarter starts under lights.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Here you go. Here's one. This is true football breakdown here. Joe Milton, 29% completion rate when he's pressured.
Ooh, he's going to be pressured.
Yeah, that Texas A&M defense can get after you a little bit.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they sacked Milrose 6 times.
Yeah.
And I don't know where you put Alabama's offensive line compared to Tennessee's offensive line.
Well, Cade Mays is back for Tennessee, which is huge.
Right.
At the center.
Yeah, I'll say this, though. A&M's got some guys up front that are going to be drafted in May. And once you get to that point where you believe, what are we playing for? And especially in today's climate and with NIL and transfer portal, some of these guys are going to tap out.
Yeah, but maybe it's an opportunity for them to play for those sacks, which will put it on tape for the draft. We don't know. But Milton under pressure, keep an eye on that. Milroe was fantastic under pressure last week. Helped Alabama get the win. Can Milton do that as Tennessee plays host to Texas A&M in one of the big games this weekend? We'll talk about the rest of the slate coming up with Roman Harper in the next segment. The show is being brought to you today in part by our friends at Odie's. What was the question last night, LT?
Question last night was, what came first, Starburst or Eddie Murphy?
Ooh, I'd go Eddie Murphy. That feels too easy, so I'll go Starburst.
Wait, no. Yeah, I thought you said it.
I did. I said I'd go Eddie Murphy, but that feels too easy, so I'll go Starburst.
So you're doing the old Costanza, what you believed first, and you flip it around.
Well, it just feels like Starburster in the late 70s, early 80s. Eddie Murphy was born in the 50s.
I honestly, here's the way I do these questions. I don't try to trick you. What I do is I come up with a product in head, and the first was Starburst, and then I try to get something that was right around it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say Eddie Murphy was in early 60s, maybe late 60s. Starburst feels very, psychedelic, which was 60s, but I'm going to say it slid into the 70s. So I'm going to say Starburst 74, Eddie Murphy 69.
Eddie Murphy 61.
Oh, wow, he's old.
Starburst 60.
I am surprised
So
by
the
that.
Starburst candy came first.
Wow.
Yeah.
Starburst may have started the psychedelic. They may have looked at look at all these colors in this Starburst.
Coulda. Biggest mistake they made was getting rid of lime.
They got rid of lime?
About 25, 30 years ago, yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I don't eat enough of them.
Skittles brought theirs back.
I don't like Skittles.
Starburst so much better than Skittles.
I agree.
Especially the pink ones. Anyway, Odie's Tavern, 2 locations. I see Riley over there. Need trivia at the new location in Homewood. Possibly.
Look out.
You
Possibly?
never know. Wednesday night trivia every single Wednesday at the Crestline location. Live music, both locations, Friday and Saturday. Get in, see Will Haver, that great staff. Enjoy some of Rodney Davis's food. 2 locations, Crestline Village and Homewood.
Devers. Patrick over in the Vulcan Tire and Automotive chat room. They got rid of Lime Starburst about like 25 years ago. We landed on the moon? Done away, probably. We're back in a moment. Roman Harper talks football with us on TNR.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Football season is here, and Legacy Credit Card is just what you need to manage your spending safely and wisely. Credit cards offer better consumer protection against fraud when compared to a debit card, which is linked directly to your bank account. Legacy offers rates as low as 8.9% APR on credit cards compared to major card providers who advertise rates as high as 29% APR. Look no further than Legacy. Open a credit card online in minutes at legacycreditunion.com/join. APR's annual percentage rate, rates, and offers subject to change. See website for details. Federally insured by NCUA.
It's college football time in Alabama. This is Congressman Robert Adderholt. I grew up an Alabama fan, Roll Tide, but my wife, Caroline, grew up an Auburn fan, War Eagle. But no matter who you pull for, whether it's the Lions of the University of North Alabama or the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State or any other school in between, I want to wish all the players, the coaches, and especially the fans another great college football season here in Alabama. I'm Robert Adderholt, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Adderholt for Congress.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness. The Next Round golf cart is back, and it's presented by Urology Centers of Alabama. For $89, play Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the renovated Woodward Golf Club. $247 in value for just $89. Or get bonus gifts with the Deluxe Golf Card for $119. No restrictions, good through September of 2024, but supplies are limited. Buy right now at nextround.store.
Red Wing Shoes is pleased to announce the Ultimate Fit and Comfort Savings event during the month of October. Mention The Next Round and receive a special discount of up to $30 off. Visit your local Red Wing Shoe store in Pelham or Trussville to have your feet electronically measured. A certified fit specialist will then recommend the proper footwear and orthotic to ensure you receive a comfortable pair of boots or shoes. So be prepared as the fall weather begins to change. Enjoy a pair of classic Red Wing Pecos pull-ons, Heritage Iron Rangers, or Vask hiking boots from Red Wing. The Next Round golf cart is here. Your chance to play 4 area golf courses for just $89. Get 18 holes in cart at Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. A $247 value for just $89. Get your golf cart now at nextround.store.
All right, here we go. We're going to talk some football with Roman Harper. Don't forget 2 games tonight, West Virginia, Houston, 6 o'clock FS1, SMU, East Carolina, 6:30 on ESPN. UTEP, I assume, went on and won that game last night. I turned it off at 21-0. All right, let's talk to Roman about the big games going on in the SEC.
He is presented each week by MyBookie.ag. Code Next Round continues to give you that 110% sign-on bonus. You make your initial deposit, get a bonus of 110%. You can play with it right away. It is free money from MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Harp is on a beautiful golf course today. Look at that blue sky. Harp, how are you?
I'm doing good, fellas. I can't even lie. This is beautiful. I just gotta flip the camera. You guys gotta see this, man.
All right.
This is just a driving range out here. Over here at Primland in Virginia, the middle of nowhere, Virginia. I have no idea where I'm at, but it's great.
Why are you in Virginia? We don't own that state in the SEC yet.
Scouting.
Okay.
Scouting, guys.
Okay.
Hey, how much, Harp? I mean, I think we're all big fall fans, a lot of different reasons. We're about to roll into the holidays here, football in full effect. But how much better playing one of these fall, October cool games than one of those hot-ass September games in Tuscaloosa?
Well, the biggest thing is, playing in the South, really no cold. And so we finally get just a small hint of it, as we get later on in the season, changes, weather changes. And for me, playing back in the day, I just wanted to see smoke coming off my head. That means I was like hot in a cold weather game. Like that was the only thing. I used to see those highlights in like NFL teams or college players in high school, and I'm like, dude, if you don't have smoke coming off your hair from underneath your pads, like you ain't going hard. So for me, that was what I always look forward to when it starts to get a little bit colder. That, you know, I got the smoke coming up off me. I just always wanted that picture. Never had a picture of myself doing it or in that moment, but just know that was where my mind was always at.
I'm playing at a 10-4 right now. What's the handicap?
Oh, dude, I'm shooting in the upper 80s now, low 90s. That's a good day for me. So if I can break into get in the 80s, I'm usually happy. I don't play enough. I got too many kids. And I don't play enough. So, but I am getting better, though.
I know you're probably from the tips. I play from the old man tees, so that helps me out a whole lot. My 190-yard drive. Speaking of big drives, you had Jalen Milroe with a couple of those last week. Man, it just feels like, if you're watching the water on the stove, and then right when it starts to really get hot, you start seeing these little bubbles. It's not boiling yet, but just a little bubbles start, creeping up to the top. That's where I feel like this Alabama offense is. It's not boiling yet. It's not hot yet, but it's starting to warm up a little bit, and it's starting to excite me.
Well, it should excite people because if anybody said Alabama was going to win that game, it was not going to be the way that it did. And that was like Jalen Milroe throwing them to a victory without being able to run the football, not being able to count on it at all at any point in time. Could they just say, hey, here, go get us 3 or 4 yards and think they were going to get it? No, they stuck with the run a little bit, just enough. And Jalen Milroe threw those guys open. And not only that, but on the outside, Jermaine Burton, is he all of a sudden the number one receiver where Alabama's been wanting or questioning, well, who's that guy for them the last 2 seasons? And so you had a couple things show up that you did not think that would show up for Alabama that has not been there. The offensive line play was a little bit more consistent. And so the changes they're making there subtly on offense are starting to work. And they're figuring things out with this Jalen Milroe guy at quarterback. With this great defense, the way they're playing really, really good on defense. And because of that, they're going to be in a lot of games. And all you need are some explosive plays and some explosive opportunities with this very explosive quarterback. And you do that, man, who else is out there? Who else is out there that's better than what, if this is what Alabama looks like when they're starting to boil, when they're scalding hot, who else is better?
Roman Harper with us from the SEC Network on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. He joins us each week courtesy of MyBookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on at MyBookie.ag to get that sign-on bonus of 110%. That is free money for MyBookie.ag. Auburn goes on the road to LSU, whose defense is absolutely terrible. They cannot stop the run to save their life. And Auburn actually, it was not conventional, Hart, but they had success running it against Georgia. Can they use that same game plan against LSU?
We'll see, because I don't think Auburn went into that game thinking like, okay, the quarterback run is going to be the best thing we do today. And it was. And so sometimes games take shape forms and, maybe Georgia was not focused on that much of it as much. So it's going to be really cool to I don't know. It's going to be really hard because I think Auburn's advantage in any one-on-one situation is their tight end. I like that young man. I think he wins in one-on-one situations. I don't think they have enough weapons on the outside to separate as much as you think so. But, man, why would I trust or say anything positive about LSU's defense right now? So because of that, you're going to have a chance. But it's not even about that. It's more like when you play LSU, you got to be able to score 40-something points because LSU is going to score 40 points. And so to be able to beat this LSU team right now who's kicking on all cylinders offensively, Jaden Daniels is literally, he's a Mike Vick cheat code in Madden back in the day. That's how he is playing right now, throwing the football accurately, delivering great throws, and then being able to outrun everybody on the field from the quarterback position. He is a difference maker, and you're going to have to be able to score. I don't know if Auburn can score enough. I think they can score, but I don't know if they can keep up with a 40-point battle like I think you're going to need to beat LSU, especially in Baton Rouge.
I thought coming into the season that Brock Bowers was by far the most talented offensive player in the league. He'll still be the guy that goes – he'll probably go in front of Jaden Daniels in the NFL draft. But if I asked you, who is the better offensive player right now? Is it Jaden Daniels or Brock Bowers?
Oh, Brock is so special just because he's a tight end that could block. He gets open all the time. But, man, Jaden Daniels, he plays quarterback. He touches the ball all the time. So, of course, you got to go with the quarterback because, my high school coach, Bill Clark, was like, look, Roman, I love that you could maybe play wide receiver for us, but I don't know if we're going to have anybody throw it to you. So how about you go play quarterback? And that's what Jaden Daniels is. He's the best athlete on the field with the ball in his hands. So it's just such a difference maker. But I would go Jaden Daniels because, I've been seeing Brock Bowers do this since he's been in college. But he's just only gotten bigger and stronger. And Georgia's using him in different ways. Last year, they didn't have to just feature Brock Bowers. This year, they feature him like a number one wide receiver at Georgia's offense.
Listen, Missouri, Kentucky, a little under the radar because both teams had high expectations and lost last week. But now they play each other in Lexington. Who's the better team, Harp? Missouri or Kentucky?
Home field matters so much in college. So I'm not going to say who is. I'm not going to answer your question in your way. And so what I will say is this: I have more faith in Missouri going forward because Missouri has a defense that they got to learn how to finish games off in the second half. But their passing game, I know, is good. They should have ran the ball more in the second half versus LSU because LSU didn't stop them. They stopped themselves running. And with Kentucky, the pass game, Devin Leary's a good quarterback, but he's inaccurate at times. And then when he is accurate, the wide receivers drop it. So they're off. They're mishitting. This is the play that really stands out to me, guys, and you should go back and watch it. But Georgia starts out early versus Kentucky. They go down and score, which Georgia hasn't done all year long. All right. But so now Georgia always plays their best versus Kentucky. So, all right, they're locked in. So Kentucky has to respond. They run the ball well a little bit, a couple of times with Ray Davis. And it's the first crucial third down. And it's a 7 route, a flag route that's open. And Devin Leary misses him. He's throwing him a little bit higher. He wants him to keep it high on the 7 route. And the wide receiver's breaking it flat. So, is Devin Leary wrong? Everybody's going to say he's accurate, misses him. But you can tell they're doing different things when you look at the whole copy. And I'm like, that part of it, if they don't get that fixed, Kentucky's going to lose another game or two just because if you're only single dimensional, you're not going to beat really good teams. And so they got to fix that part of it. Missouri, I'm not worried about that part of their game. So for that alone, I'm saying I'm more confident in Missouri going forward until Kentucky fixes that.
All right, he is Roman
Sorry
Harper.
to answer your question without answering your question.
Did he answer it? No. Were you okay with it?
No, I just set it up. You give me a better answer to a better question.
Roman Harper, presented each week by MyBookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on for that free money, 110% sign-on bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Fairways and greens, Harp. Fairways and greens.
All right, guys, I'm finna swing one, and you guys hang up on me on the way out, okay?
Okay. We want to see
this. This is just a little hybrid right here.
A little hybrid.
All right, let's see what happens.
Hey, move over. You're not in the frame.
Yeah, just a little over.
There you go.
Wow, we're a lefty?
Much better. I didn't know Harp played lefty. Okay. This is Roman Harper on the 14th. He's got a hybrid
from the U.S.
230 carry on this. He's going to have to get all of it.
Looks like you lost it a little left.
Yeah. Where'd it go?
Yeah.
Hey, you got to work on your feet. Left. Your feet are all over the place.
Yeah.
LT wants better
I was
footwork.
Unbalanced. I had you guys looking at me. You know what I mean? First swing with this club. I haven't swung this club. I've only hit wedges.
Okay.
So, we'll see what happens,
Much smoother.
That was not good.
No, it was not?
It was much smoother. It wasn't good.
Wasn't good.
It's all right.
See you next week.
I got to hang up on you guys.
All right. See you, Harp. He's done with us.
Love you.
Love you. Harp on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline presented by MyBookie.ag.
Yeah. His attire looked fantastic, though, which is half the battle on the golf course.
Yeah. He ain't going to look bad now. He's not going to lose the clothes.
A part of the show today being brought to you by our friends at A+. Speaking of looking good, Brownie.
Oh, Jimmy D, my master bath looks amazing. They're at A+, and that is thanks to Brad Bell. Scotty is showing you photos of the way our bathroom looked when we bought our house, and we just weren't crazy about it. Functional, fine, yes. It just didn't look the way we wanted it to look, and we wanted it a little bit updated. And Brad was the guy that my wife scoured the internet and found. She found Brad Bell after talking to a number of contractors, people that had used contractors, reading reviews, all those things. And we brought Brad in and said, I'll tell you what we want, Brad. We want a little bit of a darker bathroom, obviously updated across the board. He did it exactly the way we wanted it done, to the T. His crews were they were on time. They worked hard. They were clean. I mean, I have zero complaints, absolutely zero complaints. Lance saw the work, and he's like, I need my bathroom done. So just to show you that Brad does it to your specifications, Lance's was darker. He wanted it lighter, and Brad did exactly that for him. Master Bath and Kitchen is where you will get your money back when you go to sell your home. Master Bath and Kitchen, it's the two biggest things. That's what Brad specializes in. So if you need an updated master bath or kitchen or any bathroom in your house, call Brad. Here's his number, 205-422-1758, 205-422-1758. He is Brad Bell. He is A-plus Tile Home Remodeling. Brad Bell, 205-422-1758.
Today, I think I'm right about this, Lunsford, Taylor Swift's film debuts in the theaters.
That is correct.
Is there a chance that she will win the box office this weekend?
She's going to crush it.
No, I'm just saying, on Monday, the best movie in the world will be a Taylor Swift.
I don't even know what's out right now.
Well, I mean, The Exorcist was last week, so yeah, I would assume.
No, this is probably, if I had to guess, it's going to be the second biggest opening of the year behind Barbie.
Is Kelsey going to the premiere?
No, he's playing tonight.
Yeah, well,
he's questionable. I wouldn't be surprised.
but
that's why I heard that ankle last
That's
week.
what I'm getting to, because it's on Prime tonight.
Right.
And the Prime commercials have been using who?
Taylor Swift.
She's going to be at the game tonight. The premiere was last night, and she took Beyonce as a date instead of
Travis Kelce.
Because they're not dating.
Yeah. but she is planning on going to the game tonight.
As everything I've seen, she's planning on going to the game tonight.
That's right. She's supposed to be at the game tonight. Prime has used it as a promotional tool.
Prime's dying for this.
Well, you know what this is? This is guys sitting back. Wife's like, okay, I'm watching this game with you tonight, but your ass is going to see Taylor with me. And then the guy's sitting on the couch, and he keeps seeing this preview for the movie and keeps seeing Taylor in the box. And it's the ultimate mind F where they're dragging you down this path to go to the theater.
Poor guy, he's got to watch the Broncos, so the wife wins this one.
So
I'd rather watch the Taylor Swift movie than the Broncos.
But if you are, like LT was from the get-go, and a lot of people, if you are on this was a made for public relations relationship, which Lunsford's already shaking his head no. But if you are of that belief, the belief would be that she, who doesn't need the money, but use the NFL as a promotional tool for the opening of this movie.
But she doesn't need the money. Why wouldn't she just shut it down?
She doesn't need
because
the
you're
money.
actually dating. If you're actually dating,
no. I'm talking about why would you not keep promoting them? If you want people, you understand that greed is like
a box of chocolates.
Yeah,
oh my gosh!
But it's not the money. It's not the money. I think she is. She's won Grammys. She's now got the biggest tour ever. She's done this. She's done that. She's won gold records in this. She's acted on Broadway. Now she's about to have the #1 movie in the world.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I think it's another
wild.
box.
That there's no doubt.
She's eager to check. So it was never about the money. I could so see her saying, "Oh, this would be pretty cool if I had the #1 box office hit of 2023." And so she uses the NFL to promote this.
She probably orchestrated the writer's strike. Who knows?
What does that mean?
Well, the way conspiracy theories are going with you, probably.
Yeah, it's true.
You're the ultimate conspiracy theorist. The only thing I
show
said,
how true this actually is, and I'm not buying into it.
That's true. He does not buy into it, and he is a big conspiracy theorist
because him and his wife love Taylor Swift.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're missing the main point here.
It's a sucky game
No,
tonight.
it's the dickhead
The
bowl.
movie's better than the Broncos Chiefs.
Oh yeah, it's the dickhead bowl between Sean Payton and Travis Kelce.
I like Kelsey, man.
I'm sure you do.
I like both of them. I like both of them.
You like Sean Payton?
No, I like both Kelseys.
Oh.
Yeah, I catch
the Kelce brothers.
I catch their podcast, whatever it's called, every now and then.
I love that
boy,
podcast.
I can tell you're a big fan.
Well, when it
Whatever
comes
it's
across
called.
my feed, I just watch their clips, like some people do of us. I like the clips. I like the clips, and it's really funny. He's a good dude on the clips. Really good to his nieces, little girls.
Well, God, I hope.
Well, they're his
Well,
flesh
it
and
takes a
blood.
special person to be good to your nieces.
I wish you were better to me. So it's Denver and Kansas City. We will be kicking off the night at Slice in Crestline. Looking forward to that. Slice in Crestline tonight. Great location. We'll be there 5 to 7. Video platform 6 to 7. We'll talk about all the games coming up then. One more thing before LT tells us about Dr. B. Forrester, give me the T-shirt picture you just sent me. Listen, there's a good chance who plays who in the Big 12 championship game.
Texas, Oklahoma.
Texas, Oklahoma. Good chance they play each other again. Here's a picture of head coach Brent Venables posing with Danny Stutzman to promote his NIL T-shirts.
My God, he better not do it in the Braves dugout.
Well, but look, here's the head coach of Oklahoma wearing a T-shirt that says, "Oklahoma only fears God. Texas fears Oklahoma."
I think it's an old saying. Like, I don't think they just created that for that shirt, but still to have it on, it's pretty wild.
It's an NIL shirt. It's got Stutzman on the front, and they're wearing that shirt and posing there in the OU locker room promoting his NIL. Good chance that picture comes back first weekend in December.
Yep. I will guarantee you behind the scenes, Venables, anybody associated with Oklahoma is pulling for Texas to get that second conference loss. They don't want to see him again.
That's my point. I mean, this right here is pinned up to my locker if I'm a Texas player. I want that head coach one more time.
I want a shot at him again.
Because I still believe Texas is the better team. I still do.
I think they are.
Most people think that.
I think they are the better team.
Tell us about Dr. B. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll do our stock report today. Buster Olney talks baseball. You Braves fans, it's not over yet. You still win 2 straight. We'll talk to Buster about that coming up at 10 o'clock. Tell us about Dr. B.
Hey, when I started to thin out, I asked around. Dr. Beckenstein is the name everyone said you need to go see. Since I went to see Dr. B and doing that non-invasive treatment on the couch 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time, my hair has more than doubled in thickness. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316. Or for more information, go online, t3hair.net.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap. If you're looking for a fun golf atmosphere that is laid back with a peaceful environment, the Meadows Golf Course in Harpersville, right off of Highway 280, is perfect for you. Just a short drive from Birmingham, this 18-hole, 200-acre track with rolling fairways and ample greens is the definition of peacefulness of the country just miles from the city. Enjoy a great lunch before your round and a cocktail on the wraparound porch after 18. Come see us today. The Meadows Golf Course in Harpersville, right off of Highway 280. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at New Life Art. Daniel A. Moore has completed his original full-color oil painting honoring Bryce Young, Alabama's 4th Heisman Trophy winner. This painting depicts the memorable Heisman-worthy go-ahead pinpoint pass to John Mechie in the corner of the end zone as the Tide dismantled the vaunted Georgia defense in the SEC championship game this past year. Use code TNR for 15% off. You can order online at danielmooreart.com.
You could win a Dodge Challenger RT or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You could be a winner too. Come win your share during the Challenger RT and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings October 27th and 28th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
The Next Round is so much more than the show you get from 9 to 1 each day. So make sure to head to our official YouTube channel at Next Round Live and subscribe to get all of our latest content. We, of course, have plenty of specialty content and shorts based all around the sports in the heart of the SEC. But we also talk pro sports, gambling, lifestyle and entertainment, and so much more. It's the Next Round YouTube channel where you never know what you're going to find next. Subscribe now to see the latest content and get notifications when we go live. That's at Next Round Live on YouTube.
We're going to get to our stock report here in just a second. And then Buster Olney at the top of the hour to talk a little baseball. But a big game for USC at Notre Dame. It's a prove-it game this weekend. Lincoln Riley, Rockstar, cut number 9. What do you think Lincoln hears a lot of?
Boy, your defense sucks.
Yeah. If he watches the film, he doesn't have to be told.
I do have a point on USC's defense.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Make it after Lincoln Riley, who you guys nailed it. He hears a lot of, man, your defense sucks.
There's a lot of good things happening on this defense, man. Like, you don't sit there and do what we're doing in TFLs, do what we're doing in sacks. Like, there's so many great things. But here's the deal. Everybody in the media had their mind made up, all right? Now, I won't generalize. A lot of people in the media had their mind made up that the first second there was any adversity this year, saying, oh, my God, should have done this, and they should have made this change, and blah, blah, blah. And it's not true. Like, listen, you're going to go through the whole year. You're going to have a tough game. Like, you're going to have a tough quarter. Do you respond, right? Do you show continued growth? And that's going to continue to be written throughout the entire year. But there's a lot of great things happening here, and we'll own the things that need to get better, but people need to make sure they're seeing the other side of it as well. And that's what we've been trying to say for a long time. And I think both myself and Caleb and some other players, I think we're venting a little bit of frustration with that, to be completely honest.
So what do you think? You had a point to make.
One of the best in the business, Fox's Brock Heward, who joins me on Unlocked. We talk a little Pac-12 football each and every week. And he brought this up when we were talking about their defense yesterday, now traveling to the Midwest, where they're going to get very familiar over the next generation as long as this planet's around.
Better get used to that trip.
We talked about this defense, and he's right. They're top 5 nationally in sacks with 22, tackles for loss with 57, and forced fumbles with 8. And if they can turn some of that into the turnovers they were able to force last year, they're going to get extra possessions, and ultimately they're going to be better than their competition. The problem I see with USC is that they go on these lulls. They had Colorado dead to rights, 34-7. They let them back in the game. Arizona, they just didn't show up in the first half. Second half, held them to 11 third and fourth quarter points. If they could put 4 quarters together, I don't think they'd be a bad defense. They've got arguably the top 2 or third best offense right now in college football. If they put together 4 quarters, and they've got the capability of doing that, they'll have a middle-of-the-road defense, and they have an opportunity to win the Pac-12 and go to a college football playoff. So the defense isn't as bad as it shows out. I agree with Lincoln Riley, but they just go on these lulls.
Yeah, counterpoint, Tom Luganbill, and maybe this is part of the lulls. Luganbill, when he and I were talking on ball, I think it was actually last week, after who did they get lit up against a couple weeks ago?
Colorado,
yeah. We're talking about Colorado, and he's like, man,
they only gave up 41.
He said, I went back and watched game film, and he said multiple times in that game, they left consecutive gaps unguarded, which he's like, that's defensive rule number 1.
Yeah, 101.
Yeah,
Defense 101.
Yeah, we start, okay, do we have multiple consecutive gaps that don't have a man over them? And he's like, that scheme. I mean, I don't know how you're making that mistake at this point, but that's a scheme mistake.
So Alex Grinch is a guy that's had success in Washington State, Ohio State. He's got a close relationship with Lincoln Riley. He's very loyal to him. But people in the business, and look, we're just guys that try to have a good time and entertain you. So when it comes to all of the X's and O's deep, we can't really break this down, but they're talking about all these exotic schemes. And, I know there's some really intelligent guys that are playing college football right now, but there is a time where you just say, see ball, get ball. Yeah. And you've got so many great athletes out there. And this is one of the reasons that, you have some lapses where you give up big plays because you're putting too much on the plate of these guys.
Yeah. Shark Bait points out SC leading the Power 5 in missed tackles, he believes, in that stat there. Our friends at Way to Wellness want to remind you that if you try to lose weight by just missing meals, that's never a healthy way to do it. It's not healthy. It's not good. It's not fun. Best way to lose weight is to get a program like Way to Wellness. They'll jumpstart your weight loss journey. It's overseen by their board-certified team at Way to Wellness, and it can help you in a variety of different ways. That includes lowering your blood pressure and correcting some cholesterol numbers that could be associated with just a bad diet. It all starts with our friends at Way to Wellness. Here's their website where you can learn more. aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That website takes you to Leslie and her board-certified team, and they will learn about you there, and they'll set up a free consultation. There's no contract. There's no sign-up fees. It all works out good. I've been doing it for a long, long time. Even after having Brown's Telemundo sandwich, what's it called that I had? Ice cream sandwiches?
Tillamook. Telemundo is a Spanish-speaking television network. Tillamook makes ice cream and cheese.
Telemundo, though, I'd be in one of these Ghetto Mex places, And I had no idea what was going on, but some of their soap opera chicks are some of the hottest Latinos I've ever seen.
I think they typecast that.
They watch that at a Greek restaurant up here in Cabo Heights when I'm in there.
That's right. I've seen that.
Do they subtitle it or just let it go?
It's subtitle, but it's Spanish subtitle, so I can't understand that either. But I had an ice cream sandwich to the point yesterday. Still 184 today. Lost a pound yesterday, even eating an ice cream sandwich that Brown recommended. It was delicious, by the way, Brown. Great recommendation.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Great ice cream sandwich. Our friends at Way to Wellness, aplanforme.com, your journey to healthy living. Our friends at Way to Wellness there. All right. So here we go. It is stock report time. Today it'll be brought to you by our friends at Bromberg's. Stock up, stock down, and Rockstar hits the button.
The College Football Spotlight.
Stock up, stock down. College football stock report.
Hey, since 1836, our friends at Bromberg's, family owned and operated. It is the longest standing business in the state of Alabama, and they continue to do an amazing job. If you're thinking about popping the question this holiday season, get in and see our friends at Bromberg's. Nothing like giving or getting that silver box. 2 locations, Mountainburg and the Summit. You can also go online, go to brombergs.com.
I'll start us off. Stock up North Carolina, man. That Syracuse team isn't as bad as North Carolina beat them last week. They beat the crap out of Syracuse, 40-7, I think the final score was. And I think Dino Babers' team's not great, but I think it's a pretty good Syracuse team. So I thought that was an impressive win. They're getting Hole at wide receiver. Thing I want to talk about with North Carolina is how good their defense is playing this year. Secondary is improved. Good game with Miami this weekend. North Carolina stock up. Stock down. Missouri, Kentucky loser this weekend because both these teams are churning along to a really good season. I have a feeling Missouri's going to win this game. Missouri, Kentucky churning along. They played at Lexington after both disappointing losses last week. Kentucky wasn't close. Missouri had a 22-7 lead and let it get away. Love to see where their head is this weekend, but that's my stock report. What about ULT?
Well, I'll pick it up on the stock down. I've got the Kentucky Wildcats, and this is a team that – boy, they baited you in. And people are like, Kentucky plus 14.5 in Athens against this Georgia team.
Devin Leary.
This is the year. Kentucky 0 sacks, 12 first downs, 2 of 11 on third downs. Stock down for Kentucky, and that schedule gets real for the Wildcats coming up. Stock up for me is Air Force. This is an Air Force team that has only scored less than 39 points one time the entire year. They're 5-0, 3-0 in the Mountain West. To me, they are the best Group 5 team out there, and they're only allowing 12 points per game. Big game against Wyoming this week. That game, though, it's an altitude game for both.
Oh, no, not the altitude game.
Yeah, there's a reason they're double-digit favorites. I like Air Force to continue to roll.
I remember bringing it to the show. I think it was week 2, but I read it somewhere else, to keep an eye on Air Force. But I remember it was after the first time seeing them play. One of the folks who covers that part of the region for The Athletic had said, there's a good chance this Air Force team could be the best team in the Group of 5. And at that point, Tulane was still looking good, and they've continued to just churn out dominant performance after dominant performance.
Yes. So look at this though. If you get a chance, look at their schedule. And nobody really cares about the Mountain West, but they should. I think they win this week. They should be undefeated when they play at Boise to end the season. And Air Force realistically could go 12-0 or 13-0 after the Mountain West Championship game. And where is Air Force ranked at that point? I mean, they haven't beaten anybody, but are they a top 10 team?
Currently, they are 26th, 7th, 28th in the Associated Press poll.
But they win, they're going to be ranked. And then you've got 5 more weeks and a championship game to.
I don't think they get into the college football playoff discussion.
No. But I'm saying, are they a top 10 team? At 12-0 or 13-0?
Maybe. It'll be close.
I mean, that'd be pretty incredible for a service academy to maybe make a top 10 run. Look, they could still lose 2 games, but just based on what I've seen in the Mountain West, based on what I've seen from Air Force, they are by far the best team.
Your point, though, they could be the Group of 5 New Year's Six Bowl team.
Go
ahead.
My stock up Big Ten defense. The top 3 scoring defenses and 7 of the top 30 reside in the Big Ten. Now, those top 3 are Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State. Some people are going to take shots at opponents. You certainly can.
Damn, where's
especially
Iowa?
with Michigan. Iowa is number 16 in the country, 16 points a game. 7 of the top 30 scoring defenses right there in the Big Ten. That's playing good defense. My stock down, the Arkansas rush game.
Spin the roast. Turn that pig up.
Turn that pig? No, it's upside down, Jimmy D. He can't come back. Do you realize year to year, if you want to go year to year, just yards per game, Arkansas is down 125 yards per game year to year.
With KJ Jefferson back.
125.
Yeah. There's a couple of reasons here.
Well, some of it's injury.
Yeah, injury with Rocket Sanders.
Yep.
He hasn't been 100%, and he takes a lot of pressure off of KJ Jefferson, who had a ton of yards, as you said, last year.
Yeah, their offensive line is not good.
Yep.
That's our stock report today, brought to you by our friends at Bromberg's. We appreciate them so much. As we head to break here, we'll talk to Buster Olney at the top of the hour. Tell us about Johnston RV, Brownie, getting you on the road this holiday season.
Yeah, in fact, Johnston RV, the good people there at Johnston RV just came back from Big Forest River Expo, and that's where all the new travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, motorhomes are there, and they get to see the floor plans. They get to see this is what our customers like. So guess what? A lot of that's about to start getting delivered, and they got to make room for it. They have fifth wheels discounted more than $50,000. They got travel trailers starting at just $179 a month with approved credit. Always got that warranty. RV Warranty Forever gives you a warranty on all new and used under 2 years of age. It's great stuff and great people right there at Johnston RV Center. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online, johnstonrvcenter.com. johnstonrvcenter.com. Do the Braves have any bullets left? Buster Olney tells us next.
Call the Next Round now at 205-734-0923.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Birmingham, guess who is back? Our friend TJ Miller. The Gentle Giant Tour. It continues at the Comedy Club Stardome. Coming up one night only, Wednesday, October 18th. Doors open at 6:15. Show goes off at 7:30. To order tickets right now, 444-0008 or stardome.com. TJ Miller, you remember him from Silicon Valley, from the Deadpool movies, one of the most sought-after comedians in the world. This Wednesday, October 18th, Comedy Club Stardome. For more information, stardome.com.
Going to a big football game? Walking around all day? Then you'll want comfortable shoes. This is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Score a touchdown with a new pair of ultra-comfortable running or walking shoes. Come to the New Balance Birmingham store. I'm telling you, we'll make sure you have a perfect fit and we'll treat you like the starting QB. Our job is to make sure your feet are happy. Visit the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. Your feet will thank you.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations, but we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, brombergs.com. No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails. And don't forget about that 29-degree man-sized drafts. It's Twin Peaks at the Patton Creek Shopping Centers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
The Next Round store is live and loaded. Check out the latest logo t-shirts and hoodies. Get your favorite team colors, the Next Round flag shirt, or grab the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest t-shirts. Go to nextround.store. That's nextround.store.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
If you're looking for a good MyBookie.ag play tonight, maybe it's the Braves with Spencer Strider. 20 wins, 5 losses, 3.86 ERA in that crazy atmosphere in Philly. Let's talk a little baseball, see if there's still life for the 104-win Atlanta Braves, Brownie.
And Buster does that with us every week, courtesy of MyBookie.ag. Code Next Round, like Jim mentioned, get a 110% sign-on bonus when you use code Next Round at MyBookie.ag. That is free money. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Hello, Buster. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to this game tonight. I can't remember a situation in the time I covered baseball where it felt like the fates of one team rested completely on the shoulders of one guy. But that's the way it feels tonight. Spencer Strider pitching in Philadelphia against the Braves, not only dealing with that Braves lineup, but also that crowd.
That Braves lineup has not been great, and that Phillies lineup has, and that has been the difference here. So there was this motivation from this situation with Arcia and the clubhouse. I will ask you, Buster, you have been in many, many, many open clubhouses, and I think it was Travis d'Arnaud that felt like there was some sort of violation. Who was the player we played earlier?
Was that d'Arnaud?
Okay,
Travis d'Arnaud.
Yeah. That felt like there was some sort of code violation there. As a guy that's done it many times, do you feel like there might have been a little bit of an unspoken code between the media and the players that was violated there?
I love Travis d'Arnaud. He's one of my favorite guys to deal with, and he's completely wrong in this case. Okay. And by the way, when this first came out, I've been around Orlando Arcia a bunch. And when this first came out, I had a question about whether or not maybe this was something where he was misunderstood. He wasn't actually heard. I reached out to Eduardo Perez, my colleague, and I said, do you think he said this? And Eduardo was like, no, I don't see that being him. Well, last night I listened to the audio of it that one of our reporters captured. It was loud, and it was him, and he said it. He was laughing, and then he's like, attaboy, Harper. You know what? With a room full of reporters, in the anointed time when reporters are let into a room, if you're saying stuff out loud, it is on the record and it is on the players. You can have a private conversation with a one-on-one thing, and the player might whisper to you in that time, hey, you know what? I think this guy's a so-and-so, but that's off the record. And that's one thing. It's a whole other thing when you are saying this stuff out loud with all the reporters in the room. That is on the player. It might be inconvenient for Arcia to have this. It may not have felt great when Harper was staring him down. We may not even believe that Harper does two home runs in part because of this, but this is on the player. And the whole thing about it being some sort of violation, that's ridiculous.
Outside of the 7th and 8th innings in Game 2 in Truist, this Braves offense in 24 innings has been inept, to put it best. And Spencer Strider going out there tonight, the only 20-game winner in the Bigs. In the regular season against Philadelphia, he's been 8-0 in his career, but in the postseason, he hasn't been good. What Spencer Strider do you expect we see tonight?
I think he'll pitch well. And I think that I mentioned the idea that he has to put the team on his shoulders. He's fully capable of that. But I also told you guys last week after I walked out of that Phillies clubhouse, where everything was on the record, by the way, I absolutely believe nobody's beating this team. They are so motivated. They're so locked in, especially playing in front of that crowd. All of the guys who were rookies in last year's postseason, they're all in their second year. The Stotts and Bohms and those guys, they are so comfortable right now. So I think that, you have to have a Spencer Strider who's as close to perfect as he can be, beating them with that, that slider, maybe mixing in a few change-ups against the likes of Bryce Harper and beating them at the top of the zone with the fastball. He can do that. I think the weather's going to be good enough. It's going to be perfect for a pitcher, but it's going to be tough for the Braves to win tonight, no doubt about it.
And Lance mentioned the Braves, who I think led the majors in runs scored and home runs this year. 7 runs in 3 games, 2 home runs in 3 games. Do they look like they're pressing more and more, other than those 4 innings in Game 2? They seem to be swinging at pitches not ideal. They're sort of out of the zone of where they usually make their big hits.
And that seems to be a common denominator with these teams that, won their divisions and got knocked out, right? The Orioles did that in their series against the Texas Rangers. The Dodgers certainly did that. Dave Roberts, their manager, mentioned that after they lost game 2, and I think the Braves have done that. And that's why I think Strider, everything is on his shoulders because he's got to keep the Phillies off the board. He's got to buy time for the Braves hitters to get comfortable, to get in the game. And the nice thing is, from the Braves perspective, is Ranger Suarez, who starts for Philadelphia, to me is very underrated. They'll have a lot of relievers after him. It's going to mostly be a bullpen game, I would imagine, 3rd or 4th inning. But I do think on paper the pitching matchup could go the Braves' way.
Am I wrong, though? The Braves also were pretty good at scoring in the top of the 1st inning, too, right? That would help tremendously tonight.
Tremendously. Like, a home run by Ronald Acuna Jr. to lead off the game would be huge. And I actually liked his plate appearances last night, right? Taking the ball the other way a couple times. Be interesting to see, see what their reaction is to it today. Marcell Ozuna is another guy. I think in a big moment, bright lights. I'm curious how he responds tonight.
Buster Olney is with us, and he joins us usually courtesy of MyBookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on to get that sign-on bonus up to right there at 110%. That is free money. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag. Free money right there for you. In the event it goes well for the Braves tonight, and they get back to Atlanta, it is going to be an all-hands-on-deck pitching if needed. Snitker is getting some criticism for doing what he did last night, starting Elder. What were the other options there, Buster? What else do you do if you're Snitker?
A lot of imperfect options. I completely agree with your question. You look up and down that, that staff. It wasn't like he has a ton of great choices. I was texting back and forth with folks in the Braves staff as they were preparing this decision, and they talked about possibly starting some relievers. They talked about using the opener. In the end, I think what was most important to them in that game last night is that they get out of the gates clean, because we've seen so many runs scored in the 1st inning in the postseason this year. So they wanted the starting pitcher to be a guy with a relatively low heart rate, who could handle that that big crowd in Philadelphia. And Elder did that. Like, it wasn't like they gave up all these runs early. I felt like, as I watched this play out, that Snit was a little bit slow in going to the bullpen, because it felt like when Elder started to lose it, man, he went fast. But again, even if you had taken him out sooner, given the questions in the Braves bullpen and the lack of dominance that we saw like in 2021 when they won the World Series, I don't necessarily know if he has a ton of great options there either.
So I got to ask you, I know you grew up a Dodger fan, but staying up and watching Lance Lynn throw batting practice last night, giving up 4 bombs, and I guess he led the majors in regular season, giving up 44, but the Dodgers out of the postseason again. Dodger fans are really frustrated. The question I want to ask you, Kershaw last 1 out in game 1. And in the regular season, I don't know how you feel about this. I think you can make an argument he's one of the top 5 greatest starters of all time regular season. But now with this postseason albatross, although they won the championship in 20, is this the lasting impression of Kershaw? And where do we rank him all time if it is?
Those are great questions. And full transparency, since that start the other night, I've been working on essentially, career end pieces for ESPN.com and for SportsCenter, because you got to work ahead and you have to anticipate those things happening. I've talked to friends of his and asked the question, you think Kershaw will come back in 2024? And what I get back is, from a lot of people, no, because he's had so many physical issues. In the past, it's been a hip, it's been a back, it's been an elbow, and this year, shoulder problems for the first time. And it made me profoundly sad. And don't pretend to know him that well, but I've covered him as a player for a lot of years. It made me profoundly sad that this all-time great pitcher walked off the mound in that last outing in Dodger Stadium, 6 runs allowed in 1/3 of an inning. And he had nothing. Like, it just looked like stuff-wise he wasn't there. And his legacy is his legacy, which is, in the regular season, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. If you look at his career ERA, which I think is 2.48, all of the guys around him on the Baseball Reference page, all their pictures are in black and white with really colorful nicknames like Smokey Joe Wood and Big Train Johnson and Babe Ruth, like this from the dead ball era. And Kershaw is among that group. But the postseason numbers are what they are. It's almost 2 runs more. And so I think he's just a really complicated legacy where we will say, man, he just accomplished so much. He was so dominant. He was so respected in the sport, and in the postseason, time after time, it didn't happen for him. And I'm glad that at least they won that World Series in 2020. You guys remember when he lifted his head or his arms over his head when he finally won? It wasn't only joy, but there was a lot of relief in that physical reaction, because at least he has that if he doesn't pitch again.
Hey, look, there's a lot of athletes out there that do a lot of great things we never hear about, but I've heard off the field that Kershaw and his family are just incredible people. Can you just, you know so much about these guys on a personal level we never hear. Can you just give us a little bit about Clayton Kershaw, the human being?
Yeah, I have a favorite story about this, and he's done so much charity stuff. And he and Ellen, you mentioned, just terrific. They worked on housing in Africa, for a number of years. And then one winter, they worked on trying to raise awareness about sex trafficking in Haiti. And my colleague, Jessica Mendoza, is working on a documentary for SportsCenter about that, and went on that trip. And she was worried. She's sitting in first class, and she's worried for a moment, like, oh my God, did Clayton miss the plane? Because she's looking around first class. He's not there. She's thinking her whole, story's blowing up. And then she looks in the back of the plane in about row 32E in the middle seat. There's Clayton Kershaw, a head taller than anybody else, sitting in the back row. That's his ethic. That's who he is. When I did a documentary on him, I went to Dallas. He had a key to his high school gymnasium. And you normally, when you do a story like that, you're expecting the publicist to be there, the trainer, all these this entourage to be there. Clayton shows up by himself, and he that is who he is. He truly is one of the best people that I've met covering the sport.
Yeah, really good to hear that. I'm glad you told those stories. All right, Buster, Braves tonight. We'll be back with you next Thursday, and we'll see if we're still talking about the Braves or if it's somebody else, the Phillies and the Diamondbacks. Thank you for the time. Enjoy the games. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys. Always fun talking with you.
You too. Take care. Buster with us each week on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. He appears courtesy of MyBookie.ag. Do not forget code next round at MyBookie.ag. If you like free money, I don't know who doesn't. They got it for you right now with that 110% sign-on bonus at MyBookie.ag.
Yeah, come on, man. Now's the time to jump on. Football season, baseball, basketball's about to go. Fun time of year. If you've ever wanted an easy way to do it, MyBookie.ag. Promo code next round, MyBookie.ag. For you American leaguers out there, Astros won again last night. Astros, Rangers. What a fun series that'll be, though.
It will be.
Right there in Texas.
Yeah, it's just these Astros. I mean, 7 consecutive appearances in the ALCS. I mean, that is nearly impossible to do in baseball. The last time we saw it was the Braves back in the 90s. Astros own this regular season. I brought it up a couple of days ago. Rangers have got a ton of momentum, but the Astros just do Astros things. The last 2 weeks of the regular season, they hit the on button, and they've been really good since.
Okay, 3 other things in this segment. Rockstar's non-sports 4 downs in the next segment coming up. Tell us about Michelson Laser Vision LT, and then we'll get to a couple of other interesting things here. A couple of baseball things that Forrester has for us right after you tell us about Michelson.
Yeah, 205-969-8100. That's the number that I called more than 2 decades ago. I had the 20/200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. After the procedure, only took 12 minutes for both eyes. 2015 vision, better than 2020. 969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. They're going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation, 0 to lose, to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Call today, 205-969-8100, or online, michelsonlaservision.com.
Vulcan Tire and Automotive chat room. Jeff says, heck yeah, Rangers, baby. John says, just can't root for the cheating Astros. Jody, Buster is just a great dude. What a great guest. He is one of the nicest guys. Brown, you've had a chance to meet him before.
Yeah, I mean, just as nice in person. I've been asked that a lot. Like, he met us at a Dodgers-Astros game out at Dodger Stadium this summer, and people have asked me, is he as nice in person? I'm like, if it's possible, he's even nicer in person than he was. And like, he was giving me advice on, hey, while you're here at the stadium, do this, do that, and do this. Just a great guy. We love Buster.
Okay, Forster's about to show you a graphic about the Dodgers starters, back to what LT was talking about. But before you see this graphic, there should be a graphic about their offense. Mookie Betts, 0 of 11. Freddie Freeman, 1 of 10 in this series. If those two aren't putting a little get up and go in the old engine, pulling that train,
well,
it's hard for the pitchers to do anything.
They get 2 in the 7th. And then the 8th, you get a leadoff walk, and then you've got Betts coming up. And I'm like, here we go.
That's what you need.
And then Betts strikes out, and then Freeman strikes out, and they just – I mean, that's the thing. Going into this series and going into the postseason, if you're a Dodger fan, you knew the offense had to carry this team, and it just didn't show up. And baseball's a weird sport. In Arizona, who only won, 84 games, you saw what they've been able to do, and they're 5-0 in the postseason.
13 home runs. Here's the Dodgers. These are the starting pitchers for the Dodgers in the National League Division Series. 4.2 innings pitched. From 3 starters, they got 4.2 innings out of their 3 starters. 13 earned runs, 16 hits, 5 home runs, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts from the guys who started the game.
Yeah, and you say what you want. I'm not going to make any excuses. Walker Buehler's not there anymore. Dustin May's not there. Tony Gonsolin's not there because of injuries. But these guys are getting paid a lot of money.
Yep.
And you went out and you got Lance Lynn. He is a veteran guy. And they were just all, I give Bobby Miller a little bit of a pass. He's a rookie at least.
Yeah, but 104 win Braves, they got there because they had one of the best offenses in Major League Baseball history, and that offense hasn't been the same so far. They need to crank that thing up tonight, 7 o'clock on TBS. It'll be in Philly. Brown, you like a good burger, don't you?
I love a good burger,
How
Jim.
about the Schwarberger? Only for the postseason in Philadelphia.
Well, let me just see.
Here's the Schwarberger.
No, pass. You don't even need the description
because you can't even get your mouth on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't like stuff where make a burger a burger. This is a sideshow. It's like a carnival piece.
It really is.
Yeah, I'm hard pass on this.
It's the Schwarberger. It's a half-pound burger with barbecue brisket, though. You like that?
Yeah, I do.
Cheese, bacon, onion rings, and a cherry pepper relish on top.
Too much.
Yeah.
Just too much. The onion rings are not needed.
If you diced it up and had little bites with all the flavors, probably would be pretty good, but you can't eat that.
You could just chop all that up and put it into a bowl at that point, right?
Yeah,
Really
absolutely.
Good.
If you went with a good-sized burger, maybe a strip of brisket in between the bacon with that pepper jelly, now I think you got something.
Yeah, no need for the onion rings. Put that on the side.
Exactly, that's
I
right.
agree. I got to be able to get my mouth around it.
Yeah, I don't like that kind of stuff.
Put that on a T-shirt, Rockstar.
I got one at home.
A portion of proceeds will benefit Schwarber's Neighborhood Heroes Fund, which provides opportunities for first responder families. A great cause there. Buy it for that reason if you're in Philly tonight and try to cheer on the Braves as they take on Philly, trying to get back to Atlanta for a Saturday game coming up. They'll get a Friday day off, so bullpens are all in that situation. All right. One more thing to tell you about right after LT tells you about our friends at HydroLive.
Our friends at HydroLive, you can't make it out to one of those great locations. Guess what? They can send a nurse to your home or office. For more information, hydrolifetherapy.com. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. They're open 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Mention Next Round at checkout. Save 20% off any of those great services. Again, follow them on Facebook or Instagram at HydroLife Therapy or online, hydrolifetherapy.com.
I personally think the game in Tuscaloosa and different parts of the country should stop Saturday from 12:05 to 12:20 while this solar eclipse takes place.
You're not going to notice it here.
It'll be partial.
It's partial, but it's just going to be like a clouds in front of the sun.
But we're not supposed to look up at it. So
No,
what
you
if
do not
I'm-
look. You never look up at the sun.
So what if I got to field a punt? It's high noon. I'm looking right
Jim-
up at it. Now I'm risking my eyesight to catch a ball for my beloved Tide?
If the sun's out, you're risking your eyesight. It's no different.
No, it is, but much different.
So what time is
Jim,
this?
You never look into the sun.
You don't, but people are able to look into the sun when it's an eclipse. That's why they warn you not to look into the eclipse.
Did you
with
say
your eyes.
12:05?
What, you've
12:08
lost your
is when it's
mind.
gonna
What
happen.
are you talking about?
They warn you.
You think
don't-
it's an eclipse is worse on your eyes than the actual sun?
because of the shading allows you to stare at the sun more than when the sun is bright in your eyes.
But he's looking for the football. He ain't staring at the sun.
Yeah, but it could be in his eyes. It's an interesting point here.
It's
That's why
a
I stay away from
terrible
11 o'clock
point.
games.
It's a terrible
Somebody's
point.
eyes gets fried, one short
They-
field
lawsuits
turnover.
everywhere.
Dude, they literally catch punts in the sun all the time. What are you talking about?
They literally warn you not to look at solar eclipses.
So if Kool-Aid muffs a
warn you,
punt,
don't look at the
you're not going to
sun.
buy the excuse that he saw a solar
No,
eclipse.
They warn you not to look at solar eclipses because people think they could stare at them longer because the sun's covered.
That's exactly right. That's my point. Yeah,
But
exactly.
they're fielding a punt. They're looking for the ball.
Yeah, for 4.5 seconds right into the sun.
You don't think the ball ever gets caught or gets lost in the sun?
I don't know what he thinks.
Here's Nick Saban gets asked about if he's preparing his team much like I am, for this huge distraction.
I know James Spann brought it to your attention last week, but with there being an eclipse during the game, do you prepare the team for that distraction?
I think you have to prepare your team for every distraction. I actually think the best way to do that would be text it to them so they can read it on their phone. All right, so, because sometimes they don't listen. All right, but if you text it to them, they'll read it. All right, so that might be a new technique that we try. You should text them what they're supposed to do on the field. They'll probably get it then.
This Nick Saban's got so many jokes this year.
Yes, man, still a jokes. I've talked to people, like I think the last time we had one of these in Tennessee was the actual, I can't remember what they call it. What do they call it where it actually goes almost completely dark?
A total eclipse of the
No,
heart.
not a total eclipse of the heart.
Did you like her hair in that video?
I did.
I like
love
that song. I like that
don't
song.
like that song.
I do.
I love that song.
It's like Bonnie Tyler could sing.
Can you give me the hook, Rockstar?
You know, I really can't.
Turn around.
Every now and then.
I don't know the words of it.
The best version is on Old School.
Who sings it?
It's the Old School, the wedding band.
Yeah.
He drops bombs during it.
It's the Dan Band.
Yeah.
The Dan Band.
Yeah, they look up, everybody's just kind of hanging out, and
But my brother lived not far from. Yeah, there's a phrase, I can't remember what the phrase is, but it's the area where you can stand where it is fully eclipsed. And he said it was the weirdest thing. Like, it doesn't go entirely dark, but it goes dark enough like the cicadas start and all that. And he's like, you're in the middle of the
Street
day.
lights come on.
Yeah. He was like, it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I plan on being in my basement.
Yeah, I'm not going to know there's an eclipse.
Me too. But I am rigging one of those cardboard things so that Alabama's putter can go.
Look for the ball.
I'm just worried about Kool-Aid, man. Come on. All right, when we come back, Rockstar has the 4 downs. Our friends at the University of Montevallo, they're not proud of this brain they created.
Listen, I didn't graduate either, Jeff.
I did graduate, though, Brown. Our friends at the University of Montevallo. Is there some question? Do I need to bring the
I'm
degree?
just saying I didn't graduate, so it's not like I'm trying to throw my education up to you.
Proud alum of the University of Montevallo. My daughter's in school there now. You need to check it out. For your son or daughter, if they're a junior or senior in high school, schedule an in-person tour, montevallo.edu, montevallo.edu. Find out everything you need to find out right there, online there. Great broadcasting school, theater department, music department, a business school that's been remodeled, and 23 NCAA Division II fully funded scholarship sports. I saw the lacrosse team taking team pictures yesterday. Just a wonderful group down there at the University of Montevallo, montevallo.edu, montevallo.edu.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Start your day online at nextroundlive.com. Get all the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. And it's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
As summer starts to fade, get ready to welcome the arrival of fall. But hey, it's not just football season making an entrance. In the world of pest, it's fall invader season. Hold on tight because we've got 4 major troublemakers stepping into the spotlight. Box elder bugs, kudzu bugs, ladybugs, and stink bugs. These pests don't just knock, they barge in like they own the place. But fear not, dial up Wayne's Pest Control now, 865-588-6686, and let's show those fall invaders who's boss. Don't let pests crash your party. Take charge today.
The extra hours of sunshine are back on the clock, and that means it's time for golf at Timberline, a short drive from Birmingham or Montgomery. Go to timberlinegc.com, timberlinegc.com to book your tee times, schedule a lesson, or just drop by and use the TrackMan technology on the driving range. The course is always fun, in great shape, and you can even become a member. Get all the details at timberlinegc.com. It's time to get your golf on with our friends at Timberline. There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine prepared fresh daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour. 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with walk-ons.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast. The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and our entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Rockstar's got our 4 downs coming up here in just a second. Football tonight, a couple college games, one NFL game, and of course the Braves game happening tonight. We'll be out at Slice Crestline. More on Slice in a second, but that's our Bud Light game night location. Slice Crestline tonight, 5 to 7 for that one. By the way, if you're wondering about Auburn, LSU this weekend, Auburn ranked 90th in the country in yards per play, going up against an LSU defense that have worse numbers than that.
Yeah, I don't really know. You know, Roman made a good point. I think Georgia might have got caught a little bit by surprise with Auburn's quarterback run game, but I don't even know that they've got to be that great in the quarterback run game against this LSU defense. I think they can get the backs going.
You know, it's interesting. We had Matt Moscano on yesterday, and he said there's a misnomer about the talent on this LSU defense they missed in the portal, but our friend Tom Luganbill still thinks there's a ton of talent and something's just missing.
Yeah, it's the secondary that is weak, but the linebackers we know are good. Defensive line's got a couple of first-round draft picks potentially.
Well,
7 straight SEC road losses for Auburn. And for me, the question is, Brownie, which team shows up? The one that played Georgia or the one that played Texas A&M?
Boy, you better hope it's not the one that played A&M because you'll get scalded with that LSU offense. A&M still was a little bit challenged on offense. If you can't score any more than that against LSU's defense, that's going to be ugly. But again, I'll say, I know whether they got horses there or not, all right? Dunaway, do you have your dunks on today?
I do.
Whether they got dudes up front or not, still, they are dead last in the conference against the run. I don't care how many dudes you got. If you're dead last against the run, that means everybody's running it on you.
Yeah, I mean, the good news for Auburn is you've got a really, really innovative play caller and a guy that knows offense as well as anybody, and now you're going against this defense, and you've had a couple of weeks to study it. You know, Hugh will put them in a situation to make plays. Whether or not they make plays, we'll see.
Yeah, you know, we always talk about filling the run gap. Chris, a big LSU fan, says the biggest gap in the whole defense is Matt House's brain. It's missing.
I'm pretty sure that that will be a big change in the offseason.
Yeah, you'd have to think.
Or maybe sooner.
Show's being brought to you in part by our friends at Moore's Marinade. Brown, it's not just for the meat, right? You can put it vegetables, marinated in vegetables.
Yep. That marinade that you just think about when you immediately think of Moore's Marinade is good on the pork chops, chicken, steak, vegetables. I use it on vegetables. But also, Jim, don't forget that wing sauce. They've got several versions of that. The buffalo wing sauce. I use the honey barbecue Monday night at the house there, and I tossed my wings in that. It was so good. You could dip, drizzle, slather Moore's buffalo wing sauce on everything you eat. Chicken fingers, burgers, sandwiches, pizza, pasta, tacos, fries, and more. Grill masters prefer Moore's marinades and wing sauces over all others. And you get some good recipe ideas. You get some grilling inspiration. You can just see more about all the selection they have with Moore's Marinade by going online, mooresmarinades.com. That is mooresmarinades.com.
For the Alabama game against Arkansas this weekend, the Hogs' run defense is actually pretty good if you look at their numbers. So it looks like it'll be another game you put the ball in Jalen Milroe's hand, much like you did at Texas A&M, and say, dude, you may not be able to run it. Let's go throw the football again.
But the good news is Arkansas is not good against the pass. Yes. And I do think Milroe is building a little confidence. If that offensive line can get better, and give him a little bit more time. Jermaine Burton is really separating himself as a go-to receiver.
And what's really surprising about this Hog team, Brownie, and that was your stock down, is that their offensive line is really, really bad.
Well,
and that is something Sam Pittman's an offensive line coach in the past. Now he's the head coach. You never would expect their offensive line to be this bad.
And they can't run it effectively. And to make matters worse, they also can't protect KJ Jefferson. And he's taking a beating. I think Luganbill told me the other day in the last 4 games, he's been sacked a total of 20 times.
Yeah.
And you just can't keep doing that. And I don't know if you noticed Saturday, Alabama's defense will get after you a little bit in the backfield.
They've tasted blood.
Yeah, they have tasted blood now. I mean, that's as good a pass rush as I've seen Alabama have. I don't know about you guys, in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Very long time. And Dallas Turner is playing elite football. I believe he's leading the nation in sacks right now.
I know he was leading the SEC. I'm not sure if it's nation, possibly.
If you'll give me 2 seconds, I can answer that question. He's right up there. He's third in the country in sacks, Jim, with 36. Or that's 36 yards. That'd be a lot of sacks right now. 36 sacks yards.
Derek Thomas.
Yeah, I know. 6.5 sacks. That kid at what is CSU? Is that Colorado State? Yeah, Colorado State kid's got 9.5 of them.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah, probably had 7 against Shedeur Sanders.
A lot of them were Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
The fingerprints all over that one. All right, let's do Rockstar's 4 Downs today. Non-sports related. It's brought to you by Slice. We're out there again tonight, LT.
Yeah, looking forward to that. We're going to be at the newest location, the original Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, now Crestline Park. We're going to be out there 5 to 7 with our friends at Bud Light. Come join us. Local pizza, local ingredients. Come say hey to the Bajalia brothers. Hang out with us at Slice.
First down.
When I finish this first question, I got to say, you learned something about people that work here every day.
Okay.
You remove one of these actors and you lose their films forever, not for just for you, for everybody. Your choices are Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, or Jack Nicholson. And I asked this question in the lobby yesterday, and somebody said, I don't think I have seen a Tom Cruise movie.
Emily Grace?
Nope.
Taylor Corn?
Taylor Corn.
Kelsey.
Kelsey?
Could not think of one Tom Cruise movie she's
Are you
seen.
serious?
Well,
both Top Guns.
So, yeah, I'm surprised she hadn't seen Top Gun or Risky Business.
Yeah.
The Firm.
Yeah, one of those Mission Impossibles just randomly on, kids watching.
Far and Away.
Oh, yeah.
This is a
damn it, Shannon.
fascinating question because I think all 3 actors have iconic films. Here's the thing. Tom Hanks, I think, is a little overrated, but I cannot give up one of the most important films in Saving Private Ryan.
That's right.
I think it's that important.
Yep.
I think
I
it's
thought
that well
Big
done.
was fantastic.
Yeah, Big was really what put him on the map as an A-list actor. So, the Toy Stories for the kids, hard to give those up. Jack Nicholson, I will just say, The Departed, I can't give that up. I can't give up The Shining.
Well, Lunsford gave up Jack Nicholson. He was like, he said only because the only one he wanted to keep was The Departed.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the one I would go with too.
Well,
Jack
he's got a lot of
Nicholson.
deep, critically acclaimed stuff. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Chinatown, things from the 70s where film critics absolutely loved. I would give up Tom Cruise. And really, the only thing I'm missing with Tom Cruise, all the right moves. I'm going to hate. That's out. Collateral's out. But
We would
really,
never
the original
have
Top Gun.
You've lost that love and feeling.
I could probably live without that.
Yes.
So I would give up Tom Cruise.
The Righteous Brothers didn't write it for that movie, right?
It's only on the soundtrack.
Yes, I would.
I've told you guys this before. There was a.
You wouldn't give up Tom Cruise for 2, Days of Thunder, and Forrester points out Eyes Wide Shut.
Eyes Wide Shut. Yes, I learned a lot in that movie. Never go anywhere without a password. There was the drink that he was drinking in the bar. A little tall, skinny glass. I think it was
Shirley Temple.
No, it was a gin and tonic. And so the whole summer Top Gun came out in the 80s. That was my drink.
Are you doing gin and tonic?
Gin and tonic, yeah.
I've never liked a gin and tonic.
Did you ride your motorcycle every time a plane went by?
Oh, he wanted one. He was on a scooter instead of a Ninja.
The way I answered this question, Rockstar, was I was like, okay, what movies do I always stop if I stumble across them? And Tom Hanks has a few. Apollo 13, I very much like. Saving Private Ryan, obviously. Jack Nicholson's got a few good men. Stop anytime.
Which
Tom
also
Cruise
has Tom
also in
Cruise.
that. Yeah, it's a double dip. Tom Cruise was the one though that I just couldn't think of outside a few good men, and that was my problem.
Well, sadly, he is such a good actor, but he has gone the way of I want to do all these action movies. I want to do my own stunts. I don't really want to do like a serious drama.
The Tom Cruise movie that stops me the most is Inglourious Bastards. No, not Inglourious Bastards.
Valkyrie.
Is Valkyrie. Yeah.
Yeah. Jerry Maguire. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Jerry Maguire.
I'll tell you, his
It's
best.
inside my ring right there. You complete me.
His best performance as an actor, either Tropic Thunder, is very brief, or Magnolia.
Yep.
And I bet you have not seen Magnolia. But he was incredible in Magnolia.
I would be single if not for Tom Cruise. Because you complete me. It was such a big part of our dating life.
Really?
Yep.
That was what sold Maggie.
Did she sell you on torn jeans or an ex-roommate?
I don't even know the reference.
I'm sure that was your favorite scene. When he's crushing Kelly Preston.
Kelly Preston.
Oh, Don't Ever Stop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the NFL draft. Yes, that's what they were.
Second
preparing for.
down.
What is a beauty standard you can't believe people actually like?
Everybody wants to change their nose, which is kind of strange. I mean, I understand if you're like Adrian Brody and you have a dick on your face, but
and then you got to do the nose too.
Yeah,
never really thought that.
Appreciate you guys laughing in the back row. We didn't get the same laughter with the studio audience in here.
I never get the laughter from you two I deserve. I think fair skin's kind of weird too. Like Nicole, going back to Nicole Kidman, there are some people that want to stay out of the sun because they don't want to have any color, which I always thought that was weird. But
it's a good look for her. It was a good look for her.
Well, I mean, for a redhead, for gingers, you kind of expect it.
It's uncomfortable saying this in front of guests in the studio.
Just go ahead and say it.
Shout out to the Jacksons.
There are certain breast implants that look like
They're
normal breasts, which are the good ones.
Right.
And then there are certain breast implants that look like you're trying to be a stripper or a porn star.
That's correct. Yes.
I never understand why you choose the ones that look like you want to be a stripper or a porn star. If you can get good, bigger breast implanted and make them look natural, wouldn't that be what you were trying to do?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it's a weird look, like the cantaloupe on top of the cutting board.
Like two Nerf footballs, just boom, and they look hard as a rock. Like no fun at all. I'll pass. Thank you.
I'll still
no
still
second
test
base.
them.
Stand up single. Pinch runner, please. Thank you.
We got it.
Third down.
Runner, please. All right, I'm in the game.
What's a profession where a 30% success rate would mean you're successful?
Baseball.
Baseball. Golf. Like if you won 30% of the tournaments you were in, you'd be the greatest of all time.
Sales. I mean, you go on 10 calls, you close 3.
Is that good?
That's very good.
Yeah.
NASCAR. You don't win 30% of the races.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of sports. A lot of sports you could do.
That guy, 7399, weatherman.
I'm going to tell you one that ain't heart surgeon. If I'm only 30% on heart surgery, that's
pretty bad.
That's a pretty bad one.
How many patients do you need today? 10. Well, shit.
Yes.
Moon landings. Got to be pretty good at that.
Yeah.
Gold mining's a good one. You 30% of the rocks you pick up are gold.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, ain't bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Meteorology.
Fourth down.
All right, the reason I saw this, Tina Fey was being interviewed by Conan O'Brien, and she said that one of her favorite things he's ever done was he made up a word. He called it chipple.
Chipple?
And he said the meaning of chipple is when a writer on Saturday Night Live or his show, he gave an example of Robert Smigel. He said, it's one of those times when you say, hey, Robert has pitched this idea, and we all love him. He's a legend. He's one of the best writers ever. He's amazing, but we don't want to do this sketch. He said chipple means, instead of saying, Dunaway's the best, everybody loves him, he's a legend, just say, Dunaway's chipple, but we don't want to do this idea. You kind of understand it?
I got you. Yeah, all right.
So with that being said, make up a word and a definition for something that happens often on the next round.
You got one? Go ahead.
Mine is cram throw.
Cram throw.
When someone is trying to make a point and is interrupted by another host and the conversation goes a total different direction in a totally different way where the other guy didn't get to finish his point.
Yeah, it happens frequently.
Yeah.
Why do you call it a cram throw?
I just had to make up a word for it.
Oh, you had to make up a word
for it.
Oh.
I'll give you one. How about Mango Days? And that's DAZE. And that's when the three of us are all here and we have the ability to look something up on the internet or return a text or completely zone out because the other two are talking. And you can't go into a Mango Days if there's only two on the set.
That's good.
Because you've got to keep it going. And it happens all the time because I was in the middle of something yesterday and you asked a question about something Alabama and you knew that I wasn't paying attention. So you tried to call me out on it.
I didn't try to call you out.
Dunaway, you 100% did.
And I was able to scramble.
No. Let me see what I saw. Because I'm answering the question and Scott's got my shot on it.
I was just bringing you back into the conversation. Yeah. I'm not calling you out. I'm bringing you back into the conversation. Because we have cameras.
Yeah, sometimes when I talk about a controversial subject, you go into a Mango Days.
I'm watching you. I'm watching you, though.
It's sometimes you aren't. When I was talking about Trevor Bauer the other day, you were watching the floor. So I needed to pull you out of that Mango Days.
I don't think Trevor Bauer is a controversial issue. sometimes when you talk politics, I will either stare at you or stare at the
I
chat
talk
room
politics
or
all
the
the time.
clock.
Tell me the last time I talked politics.
I don't know. I was in a mango daze.
There we go.
Do you have one?
No, I think we were crimp throwing now.
Patrick says, Patrick Lance puts the LT in salty. You don't have one?
No. I misunderstood the question, part of it.
Yeah, I probably should have spent some time.
No.
Spent some time on that one coming in.
I thought you were looking for like I got Dunawayed or I got lanced, and what would that definition be?
It was harder. I didn't explain the text the exact way.
So I misunderstood the question.
We've got 2 new words though: cram throwing and mango days.
Yeah. That guy Swift Lock, I like that one. When someone finds a way to bring a random conversation back to Taylor Swift.
That's a Dunaway.
A lot of Swift Lock tonight on Amazon Prime.
Clown show when Clay comes on.
Hey-o.
Thank you, Connor.
Yes.
I should pre-read these. What was I going to say? There was one more thing.
Oh, Chase, we can spend more time on this.
We go all day. Mango Days. That could be a T-shirt.
Yeah, I go Mango Days, Michael, when we talk conference realignment. I am just...
Was that 4th down?
That was 4 of them. Yeah,
all
we did
right.
4
Brought
today.
to you today by our friends at Slice tonight.
My
LT,
friends.
jump back in the conversation. Tell us about Slice.
Wake them up.
Come join us tonight. We're going to be at the new Crestline location, the Crestline Park. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come get one of those Bajaya specials. Get one of the spicy Hawaiians, the Hot Mama. Just incredible pizza. We'll be out there 5 to 7 with our friends at Bud Light. Come see us. Local pizza, local ingredients.
You were pointing at that to show the graphic was up?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the universal sign of that.
Okay.
I just got done away.
Well, I didn't know if you were pointing to make a point. I was going to pause for it, and then there's a lot of silence on the air, which is why I needed to move on.
Ask an awkward question.
Yeah. Well, you were pointing, so I was just if you wanted to make a point about the lineup this weekend.
Hey, Jim.
Is your Dolphins on there?
My Dolphins play a Black Friday game. Our Thursday game was a Black Friday game.
That's right. That's right.
And we got Jets on Black Friday instead of playing a Thursday, which actually I like.
Yeah. Buccaneers Bills coming up later on. Loser for us in Buffalo.
Buffalo's
safe to
bad,
say.
but the Bills can be inconsistent. You've seen that so far against the Jets and the Jags. They were not good. Against the Dolphins, they look like the best team in the universe.
Yeah,
We've only got one.
Yeah,
December 21st.
They try to get everybody at least one, right?
They try. It used to be a NFL rule that every team had to have a primetime game. And boy, they forced them. I remember one time the Rams were awful, and Trent Dilfer was starting quarterback for the Bucs, and we were down 28-0 at halftime. Came back, won the game 31-28.
Trent Dilfer on the show coming up in about 1 hour. The show brought to you by our friends at Maestro Dobel Diamante Tequila, made with 100% pure agave. Multi-age tequila aged using wood barrels from the Balkan region of Eastern Europe. You know, I was having lunch yesterday at a place, and I just scanned the counter up there to see if there was any tequila that was worth my time. There was not. Maestro Dobel Diamante, not on the shelf. It is the perfect tequila, crystal clear, smooth. I just like it over ice with a little twist of lime in there. It is Maestro Dobel Diamante. Back in a moment.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter @RockstarBHM.
Going to a big football game? Walking around all day? Then you'll want comfortable shoes. This is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Score a touchdown with a new pair of ultra-comfortable running or walking shoes. Come to the New Balance Birmingham store. I'm telling you, we'll make sure you have a perfect fit and we'll treat you like the starting QB. Our job is to make sure your feet are happy. Visit the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. Your feet will thank you.
Support the show and grab some great t-shirts and hoodies right now in the Next Round store. Buy the Alabama State map shirts in your team's favorite colors, the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest, or Next Round flag shirts are also online now. Just go to nextround.store. That's nextround.store. The traditional Next Round logo shirts are there too. Buy them for yourself, or they make a great gift for someone else. And let us know what you'd like to see in the store coming up. Nextround.store. That's nextround.store.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations. But we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items, and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, Brombergs.com. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Do you need extra cash handy? Look no further than Legacy Credit Union for whatever loan your lifestyle requires. It only takes a few minutes to apply and request the amount you need to give you peace of mind. With affordable low rates and manageable payback plans, a Legacy Lifestyle loan is crafted just for you. Apply online today at legacycreditunion.com/join. Lifestyle loans from Legacy. Terms and conditions may apply. Legacy is federally insured by the NCUA. DryTech Water Restoration is a locally owned company that specializes in mold remediation, fire and water damage cleanup, and SteraMist services. DryTech's goal is to provide clients with expert guidance when dealing with any home disaster. DryTech's highly trained specialists are available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. They will work closely with you and your insurance company to make sure the process is stress-free as possible. Call DryTech today, 205-637-0143. The moment you discover damage to your home, DryTech's team will handle the rest.
Back with you on the Next Round, part of the show being brought to you by our friends at Milo's. They've got those loaded fries right now. Hey, you can get a free loaded fry from our friends at Milo's if you just download the Milo's mobile app and use the promo code NEXTROUND. Promo code NEXTROUND when you download that Milo's mobile app right there in your Apple store, and also right there in your Android store. Just search Milo's, download the app, promo code NEXTROUND, and get a free new loaded fry, jalapeno, bacon queso that makes up the Mexi fries, the 100% pure ground beef, grilled onions, Milo sauce, and queso for the saucy fries. They're fantastic with our friends at Milo's. That whole menu, download the app and use the promo code NEXTROUND. Working our way towards the top of the hour, Dan Orlovsky and Trent Dilfer in Trash coming up in the final hour of the show. As we get ready for this big weekend, Brian Kelly is coaching the LSU Tigers as Auburn comes to town, cut number 7 rock star. Brian Kelly's tough games this year at Missouri, where they escaped with a win.
They did, yep.
They lost down in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Where else have they been this year? On the road at Ole Miss,
yep.
Loss. Boy, you're talking about somebody who's glad to be back home in Baton Rouge for a game. Here's Brian Kelly.
Well, I mean, I think you start with, 3 of the 4 games on the road against top 25 opponents, so outstanding teams on the road, Florida State, Mississippi, Missouri, all quality opponents. And certainly, we wish we could have, fared better in a couple of those games. But, we're certainly, playing at a high level offensively, and we need to continue to improve defensively. And that's, obviously we've given up too many points on the road, but I think our guys have done a great job in their preparation on the road. Clearly, outside the Florida State game, we had a great chance to win the Mississippi game. So I'm really proud of the way they've handled themselves on the road, but it's been a difficult schedule. And so we're seasoned, we're right in the hunt, and, the season's in front of us. So with 5 out of the 6, remaining at home, we feel like we're in a good position. Let's go take care of business.
5 out of the 6 remaining at home. The 1 road game is in Tuscaloosa. This team could still make Atlanta. They've got the talent.
Oh, yeah. And you've got 2 weeks to get this defense right. Look, I don't believe Auburn is going to beat them. Say what you want. I think this offense is too dynamic. And then you've got Army coming in before Alabama. If you can get a little confidence with this defense and you can go into Tuscaloosa, much like 2019, and you heard Matt Moscano say this is the trending to be the second best offense in LSU history behind that 2019 team. If you could somehow outscore Alabama, then it becomes a 1-game situation against A&M. 10-2 in Atlanta. It's still not a bad year.
Not a bad year. Brown, what's their SEC schedule left? Give me the offenses that could even against that defense keep up with the LSU offense.
So I'm saying offenses LSU is about to play that I think can play right with LSU's offense against LSU's defense.
Yeah, there's very few, if any.
Alabama absolutely can.
It'll be close. I mean, Alabama will have to get on their giddy up to keep up with points. You just got to.
Well, I don't think LSU's. I disagree with Matt Moscona, and I disagree with what Harp said earlier that LSU is going to score 40. LSU is not going to go up and down the field on that Alabama defense.
Okay, you got to hope Alabama's defense, or expect Alabama's defense to make LSU not look like LSU's normal offense.
Yeah, LSU's got the best offense in the SEC. I don't think there's any doubt, and I agree with you. I mean, that Alabama defense is too good, but if LSU was to score 27 points,
I think they would lose in Tuscaloosa with that, yes. But I think that'd be a good night for Alabama. Is that what you're going to start day or whatever time?
I think it might be good for LSU and Alabama, and I think the game's really competitive if LSU creeps up on 30 points.
Could be a 30-27 Alabama wins.
I think A&M's offense can play right with them because, I mean, they don't pressure the quarterback enough to get Max Johnson off his game, and those are still good receivers in spite of the way they played against Alabama.
They've only got 2 losable games left, in my opinion.
I think that's it. I mean,
and 8-4 would be a horrific year based on expectations. But if you turn those into wins and you're 10-2, depending on what happens in front of you, then you get a one-game situation against Georgia, and I'll stick by it. If LSU goes 11-2, beats Georgia, they're going to be in the college football playoff. They're not going to, because I think right now they lose to Alabama, but we'll see.
Who's the other ones? Auburn and who else? Florida.
Florida cannot. Auburn. They can't stay with them. I mean, Auburn's got a really good defense, too. I think this is an interesting test. I'm just, on the surface, the best defense they have faced at this point is Florida State. And I don't know that there's another one that plays defense as well as Auburn does. I don't think Arkansas does. I don't think Ole Miss does. I don't think Missouri does. I don't think State does.
I agree.
I think Auburn's a better defense than all those teams. So
I agree.
This is going to be the second best defense they have played. And you got to remember now, Florida State held this team to 24 points. If I told you Saturday night Auburn held LSU to 24 points, you'd think Auburn's got a shot at winning the game.
Got a shot at winning the game.
Yeah, I don't know that they can do that.
I have written down for some reason the score 27-23 LSU. And that's a great defensive night, I think.
Oh, if you hold them to 27
Auburn.
in Tiger Stadium, I would agree completely.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
Yeah. No, we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. Rockstar, while you give me cut 8, I'll tell everybody about Alabama Power and their mobile app. It's a great way to securely manage your account. The new app features easy, safe, reliable ways to access your account, check your usage, set alerts, so that you're the first to know when you've lost your power. I don't know about you, man. If I've spent all winter hunting and I've got deer meat in my freezer, the power goes out, I want an alert so I can run home real quick and take care of that. Put it in a cooler or something. I don't want to lose everything in my freezer. It's available Apple and Android. Simply search Alabama Power in your app and just go to alabamapower.com/mobile as well. alabamapower.com/mobile app to download that today. It's our friends at Alabama Power. As far as deep passes, big gap, big plays, 20-plus yards, Penn State's not very good. They are 132nd in the country of 20-plus yard plays on offense. Go a little lower. That's a big number, but that's the one everyone uses for explosive plays. They're 132nd. They are, if you just go 12-plus runs, 16-plus passes, they're 95th in the country. They are moving the ball down the field with long, sustained drives without the big explosive plays.
You know what they lead the nation in? To back you up on that? Time of possession.
Time of possession.
Yep, they do. They got 36 minutes a game on average. Leads the nation.
Which a lot of coaches used to really love that stat, right?
Yep, plays to your defense.
Shout out Gene Stallings. James Franklin is not going to be baited in to try to do something he doesn't think this team is. Penn State's got Ohio State coming up a week from now. Here's James Franklin in an awkward conversation this week about maybe Drew Aller, the new quarterback, needs to take some shots.
Is there a balance, though, between, hey, we need you to throw the ball deep no matter, just take a shot. Don't overthink it. Take a shot. We need to see it. We're going to call it. And we need you to get some confidence in doing this as opposed to even giving a young quarterback the chance to say, hey, just check it down if it's not there.
I don't really understand what you're saying because we would never. I'm like my skin is curling when you say just drop back and chuck it deep no matter what. Like that is like I don't even know what you're saying. It's like you're speaking like from
just
Mars.
Just send a guy on a post pattern, take the shot, throw it.
No matter what.
Give your receiver a chance to make a play on a ball. Even if he might be covered 30 yards down the field, maybe you think he'll be open 45 yards down the field and like Godwin did or with Jahan or KJ,
I still don't, like, you're speaking Japanese. We have never done that. Just throw the ball up and maybe he'll be open and maybe he'll catch. Like, my skin is you're making me uncomfortable. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So
Okay.
we would not do that. We would never do that. We've never thought about doing that as a head coach, as an offensive coordinator, as a receivers coach. When I coached the receivers, I didn't want them to do that. So no. Strong, no. No. I'm hoping we can cut this out so this doesn't even get out into the universe.
Well, you didn't. Look, I think a bad job of framing the question from whoever the reporter is. Have you guys thought about taking deep shots no matter what the situation is?
Yeah, I mean, that really doesn't make sense. I mean, James
doesn't.
Franklin, I think, is.
I think
you know what I'm saying? I mean, what the guy asked James Franklin doesn't make sense.
I think what he's trying to say is 50-50 balls. Do you need to take some shots downfield on 50-50 balls? Is Drew Aller playing too conservatively?
Just to make the defense know you could throw deep.
Yeah.
Even that, just the threat of it backs the safeties up a little bit.
Yeah. 50-50 balls. You hear, my receivers, you got to throw, who's a good, Jamar Chase. You got to throw Jamar Chase some 50-50 balls sometimes and let him make plays. Right? You hear that phrase all the time. I think that's what they're asking. What I take from that is James Franklin's very comfortable with the way this team's playing, looking very forward to Ohio State, Penn State in 2 weeks.
Oh, me too. I mean, right now, based on eye test alone, Penn State looks to be the better team. Now, we'll see how that plays out. I mean, we see Ohio State in spots. I mean, they popped in the second half against Maryland last week. I'm fascinated to see how the Big Ten plays out. I do think Michigan's the best team. But I really wonder who that second-best team is.
I think we're just watching the coach of who the second-best team is.
It's hard to believe we live in a day where Ohio State could be the third-best team in the Big Ten. Of course, we lived that with Alabama last year in the SEC.
You can sell me on it right now.
Could be. Exactly. I look forward to that game coming up in 2 weeks. By the way, just so you know, the nation always portrays us as crazy football fans that do stupid stuff in the South, I
think we appreciate that.
Yeah. They're right by and large.
The reporter who was asking the question, tweeting last night, he's received death threats from Penn State fans.
Did you tell him, hold my beer? I got a death threat from betting against the Braves.
I tell you, if he's getting a death threat, it better be over that connection he had.
Oh, my God. Boy, my ears are blown.
Could you please talk about throwing the ball deep? That was awful.
Very close to the Bane impersonation.
Oh, Pittsburgh.
Oh, nice surprise.
Pittsburgh.
My favorite part's always the beginning of it.
Oh, that's how I have to get in character, Jim. Oh, Pittsburgh. You don't think Daniel Day-Lewis just walked on stage and started talking, do you?
Oh, no, I know. Our friends at the Pan Store are ready for another big weekend. Don't wish football away. Enjoy every weekend and dress the way you would want to be dressed as a fan. Your game day headquarters is the Pan Store. Alabama and Auburn game day polos, hats, and quarter zips. Choose from the famous name brands like Gentile, Cutter and Buck, Antigua, Elephant Head, Taylor and Mick. And for the ladies, the skirts, the rompers, the clear bags, and the booties. Find any of your game day needs at panstore.com, panstore.com, or any of our 6 locations in Auburn, Crestline, Hoover, Huntsville, Leeds, and Tuscaloosa. 6 locations, panstore.com. I have such a syndrome now that every time Brown starts picking something up across the room, I think we're going to a Brown Bandit segment.
No, it's a Cliff Bar, Jim. Lunchtime.
He picked up a jacket, and I was like, is he about to put on a costume? Do we have Brown Bandit coming up next? No, we don't. It is Dan Orlovsky right here. Don't forget tonight, Bud Light game night at Slice Crestline. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Back in a moment.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at ScottForresterTV.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali. It's time for a little NBA basketball in Birmingham. Legacy Arena, October 12th. Pelicans and Rockets in town, and you need to get your tickets right now. Call them up, 205-719-0850, and book your NBA tickets in Birmingham. 205-719-0850, or just simply go to birminghamsquadron.com. When the Pelicans and Rockets play in Birmingham, you'll get to see local players like Herb Jones and Kyra Lewis Jr., Jabari Smith, as well as superstars Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. If you become a Squadron season ticket holder, you get complimentary tickets to this huge event right here in the Magic City. Again, get more details and buy those tickets right now. birminghamsquadron.com. Remember, this NBA preseason game sold out in Birmingham last year, so don't get left outside. Get those tickets now. 205-719-0850 or birminghamsquadron.com.
Football season is here, and Legacy Credit Card is just what you need to manage your spending safely and wisely. Credit cards offer better consumer protection against fraud when compared to a debit card, which is linked directly to your bank account. Legacy offers rates as low as 8.9% APR on credit cards compared to major card providers who advertise rates as high as 29% APR. Look no further than Legacy. Open a credit card online in minutes at legacycreditunion.com/join. APR's annual percentage rate, rates, and offers subject to change. See website for details. Federally insured by NCUA.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
The Next Round Golf Court is here. Your chance to play 4 area golf courses for just $89. Get 18 holes of golf and cart at Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. That's a value of $247 for just $89. Or get the Next Round Deluxe Golf Cart for just $119. It gets you all 4 courses with cart, plus an exclusive Next Round Golf t-shirt, koozie, golf tees, and a sticker. There are no restrictions. The cart is good through September 2024. Get your golf cart now at nextround.store.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
This hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's Chicken. It's open for lunch right now. Highway 119 in Alabaster, deep fried southern chicken, hand-cut chicken fingers, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You can't beat it. Lunch, dinner, tailgating, watching games at home. Get the big tailgate package. Take it home. Champy'sChicken.com. Sterling and the crew will take care of you. I feel bad for Orlovsky.
Why?
One, that
he lives a charmed life.
One, he can't go to Champy's Chicken. And two, he's going to miss my Creamsicle Buccaneer t-shirt tomorrow because it's Creamsicle Buccaneer weekend against his Detroit Lions.
That's right.
In Tampa this weekend.
It's your best uniform. That and the pewter scooter uniform from Wark Dunn.
Which is the best uniform? Did you like the Bucks and the Creamsicle or the ones they brought out when they got good?
I actually have a Creamsicle jersey from my time playing there and a couple Creamsicle hats. So that's the best Bucks one by far is the Creamsicle. They should live in that. But the Chargers baby blue, what would be great is if the Lions went throwback Lions versus Creamsicle Bucks. That would be sweet.
Yes, I'm here for that, and I would love your Lions to play like they used to play.
What is the throwback Lions? Is that the Barry Sanders era? Is that what you're talking about? No.
Yeah, so that's like just the silver pants. They have like a version of them nowadays, but it's not like as I feel nostalgic as the actual legit throwback.
Well, the one they had doesn't have the lion on the helmet.
Yeah, it's just silver helmet.
Yeah, I don't like the plain silver helmet because that lion is such a good logo, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. But that when we used to wear them for Thanksgiving Day games, the throwbacks, it was like you just felt cool essentially wearing it because that's what like Barry did, you know?
Yeah, I know you're a long, lean guy, so it's hard to buy off the rack. And so I'm sure you had custom suits in Detroit. Is Honolulu blue one of the colors, a go-to color with tailors up in Detroit? I know it's a little loud.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I didn't have enough money to get tailored suits when I was playing in Detroit still. So I was like trying to find a way to get it off the rack. I have a little bit more now. Since I've done playing and whatnot. So
okay, so wait, let me get this straight. You don't have enough to buy it off the rack, but you guys reached out to Taylor Swift about performing at your wedding.
Never said I was intelligent. Never once claimed to be smart.
Dan Orlovsky joins us each week from ESPN, courtesy of MyBookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on to MyBookie.ag. MyBookie.ag, code next round. Dan, what are the Dallas Cowboys? There have been times they have looked dominant, and there have been times they have looked awful.
Yeah, I think after Sunday night in 5 weeks, they're a good football team that has a lot of flaws when they play against better football teams or as equally as talented or matched football teams. 3-4 weeks ago, I was like, this best football team in football. And now you see some of the teams that they beat up on and how they've played in games outside of that when they played the Cowboys. And you're like, man, the Giants have struggled versus everybody this year. And the Jets, specifically haven't been offensively as explosive as potentially thought to be. And so when you watch the team play against a team that is as equally talented, probably more, and as well coached, if not better, and just get absolutely outclassed, you sit there and say you can't put them into that conversation of, the San Franciscos and likely the Philadelphias. I do still think they're a good football team. They're very talented still. I think offensively they have, some things that they have to try to fix. They have to throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb more. They have to try to get more creative on offense. They can't stand still. They've got to get better spacing in their pass game. So, but it's still a good football team.
We know how important stats and history is to baseball, and there's a little bit of that in college football. The NFL doesn't seem to – it's more of a right now league to me. But do you think for guys like Belichick or Andy Reid that getting the all-time win total away from Don Shootle, does that resonate with either one of those guys? You think Andy Reid will hang around to try to chase that down to be the winningest coach in history? Do you think it even matters to Bill Belichick?
I absolutely think it matters to Coach Belichick, and it should. You've built the greatest dynasty in the history of professional football, and you're so close to at least a mark that says I'm the greatest coach ever. Now, I don't know if like that's the only thing that matters, but for a guy that his profession and success was built on, win or losing, and he was very clear about that. To have that most wins thing, I would imagine matters to him. I think it's harder for him to go chase it down than maybe Andy Reid. I don't know exactly where Coach Reid stands on the list, but he's got, a quarterback that's going to basically win a ton of games with over the next, good 8 to 10 years. So I don't think it matters as much to Andy Reid as it did to likely does to Coach Belichick, but I think it's easier for him to chase it over the next 5 years.
With Minnesota being 3 games out of the North already through 5 weeks, people are talking about Kirk Cousins possibly being traded. I know you guys talk about it, possibly going to the New York Jets. And I just wanted to ask you, what would Kirk Cousins at this point in the season do for the New York Jets?
Yeah, I don't think it's likely. I haven't heard anybody say this. Are the Jets, what's Aaron Rodgers' feelings on this? Is Aaron Rodgers just going to green light the Jets trading for Kirk Cousins? They don't have a second round pick next year because of that trade. So are they giving up the first? Are they going to give up a third? If Kirk Cousins hypothetically went to the Jets, he would definitely give them confidence, stability, a consistent, I play at a relatively high level. I'm not going to give the ball away a ton, so you have a much higher level of bottom line expectation. But I just don't think that's likely to happen, given that's the only team that you could sit here as of today and kind of tie him to.
Dan Orlovsky with us from ESPN each week, courtesy of MyBookie.ag, code next round when you sign on. For that sign-on bonus, 110%. That is free money from MyBookie.ag, code next round. We finally saw Cincinnati look a little bit more like Cincinnati. Was that more a function of them playing the Cardinals, or is Cincinnati finally figuring this thing out?
No, it's definitely the latter. It was really just Joe's movement. So in relation to the Cardinals have played everybody tough this year. Just the week before last weekend, so I don't know what that is, 12 days ago or something, the Cardinals and the 49ers were in I think like a 7 or an 8-point game in the fourth quarter. The Cardinals are no just shove away pushover. Cincinnati didn't do anything differently. They've moved Jamar around a little bit, but that's not some, night and day scheme change. It really was Joe for 4 or 5 snaps being able to move. And it was a couple of times to move away from a sack or something to just get a completion. He had not done that. A couple of times it was to move away to create some time, twice in the red zone to get touchdowns to Jamar Chase. He had not done that. And then to move to create some big plays. And that was really the main difference. And I think that's like the moment when you're sitting there going, is Joe Burrow, I don't want to say back, but like, is he as close to being back as he's been since the injury? And that was a resounding yes.
What do you think of Vrabel as a coach? I've heard you compliment him a couple of times. He seems like he does more with less. Not, I won't say than anybody in the league, but he does seem like he does more with less sometimes.
Yeah, I think there's 2 things that stand out about him because you can never doubt him. You can never just bank against him. I think number 1, he's got a great understanding of who they are and who they are not as a football team. That team very rarely ever tries to become something that they're not, and they very much so focus on, okay, who are we identity wise? How do we want to operate? And sometimes it's by game, like what can we do this game well and just really live in that. So that minimizes mistakes. I think it allows guys to play a little bit faster and cleaner on a consistent basis. And then 2, and this might sound a little odd, like they very rarely give games away in Tennessee. More often than not, you have to go and beat them. And you have to go and kind of take the game away from them. Think about it in comparison to like a Baltimore Ravens. They've given 2 games away this year. The Steelers nor the Colts beat them. They just gave them the game. Now they took it essentially, but and I think that's kind of like the thing that stands out when you watch them is you have to go essentially outplay them to win rather than them give you a game.
I thought the Panthers were going to be better than they are right now in a wide open NFC South. And there's a lot of our listeners and viewers, big Bryce Young fans. And the game seems so easy at the college level for Bryce. It seems difficult right now. I know he doesn't have a ton of playmakers. I know the offensive line isn't good. We've seen elite quarterbacks have bad rookie seasons. Peyton Manning was one of those guys. I think you feel like Jared Goff is an elite quarterback at least this year. He had a terrible rookie season for the Rams. When you watch Bryce, is this something you think he works his way out of?
Absolutely. But Bryce is not going to work his way out of this by himself. This is so. I don't like what's happened with Bryce Young here in the last 10 days or so. And I actually tweeted about this. Like what some people are doing to Bryce Young here recently is trash. And it's not oh my gosh, Bryce is struggling. That's not what I'm talking about. It's the now leaking out about, the Carolina Panthers never actually wanted him and they wanted CJ Stroud or something. That's trash. Okay. It's 5 games into this young man's NFL career. I agree. I thought they were going to be better offensively. I didn't think like team-wise they would have a ton of success, but I thought offensively the offensive line would perform better. They're not. I thought their skill position group would be okay. I would say outside of Adam, they've been below okay. Miles Sanders has not performed up to kind of the expectation level. And I do think that scheme-wise they're not doing a ton to help Bryce or really anybody on the offense. So I firmly believe that Bryce is going to be just fine. I think they need to vary their scheme. They absolutely need to upgrade the skill position and offensive lines. I called their game a couple Monday nights ago, and I said this. It is a 36-month window. That is very hard for people to comprehend and buy into, specifically fans. That's the truth. It's a 36-month window.
He is Dan Orlovsky. See him in studio for the college games on Saturday, all over ESPN for the NFL games on Sundays with us every Thursday, courtesy of MyBookie.ag. Thank you very much for the time, Dan. Have a great weekend.
Enjoy, guys. Thank you.
All right, buddy. We'll see you next week. Dan with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. I mentioned MyBookie.ag code next round. When you sign up right there at MyBookie.ag, get that sign-on bonus, 110%. That is free money. You play it right away. You win it with that first bet, and it is yours forever. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag code next round. That is MyBookie.ag code next round.
Yeah, looking forward to this weekend in MyBookie.ag. Really, if you're an NFL fan, you look at the schedule this weekend, it's a pretty blah schedule.
It is.
The
Yeah, it's not
matchup
great.
is.
Yep.
That's why LT always tells me, if you got something on it, it makes the game a lot more interesting. Lance'sLock.com for the plays this weekend. MyBookie.ag, code next round. A great pairing to enjoy the football Sunday.
Yeah, we got 2 plays up right now for tonight. A lot of action going on. 2 college games. Got an NFL game. Got obviously game 4 of the NLDS.
You got a play on that one?
I do not. I'm staying away from that game. Big number. Kind of like Philadelphia, like I did yesterday.
Big number, what do you mean, big number?
Right now, Spencer Strider's minus 158, 160 on the road.
So that means they think that he pitches pretty good.
Yeah, they think the Braves probably win this game. Again, not foolproof. I kind of liked Aaron Nola last night, but stayed away from it. Weird series. Either one of these teams can pop at any time. But I was 0-2 last night. We try to be transparent with you. Can't win them all. Coming off a 3-0 on Tuesday night. Last night we had the Twins. 1-run loss to the Astros. We had the Dodgers. Just felt like it wasn't going to be a clean sweep and those bats were going to come alive. They didn't. So, bad night last night. We bounced back tonight with 2 winners.
To your point on the NFL schedule, there are 2 games that have teams with winning records.
That's right.
2 teams with winning records, only 2 games in the whole NFL. And you get that sometimes this time of year is you get a lot of teams start 2-2, 3-3, as it all sorts itself out.
But I still think you got pretty good games. I don't know what Deshaun Watson's status is for this weekend, but San Fran traveling across the country at Cleveland.
Could be a weather game. I don't know what the weather's like up there.
Seahawks at Bengals. I think that's going to be a really good game. I think your Bucks hosting, believe it or not.
You think we got a chance against the Lions?
Yeah.
That's one of the 2 games that matches teams with winning records.
You think there's even a possibility we can go 4-1?
Wait, so it's not like the Lions are world beaters right now.
You're a 3.5 point underdog.
I know. At home, though, Brown, that's like a mountain to climb in the NFL. We're wearing the
Chargers, Cowboys, really good game there.
Yeah.
Oh, every Chargers game's a good game.
It
That's
really
the thing.
is.
I mean, they could be 17-0 or 1-16, and every game goes into the final play.
Mr. Touchdown Eckler's back in that game for you daily fantasy people.
But I'll tell you this: whoever loses that game, whether it's Mike McCarthy or Brandon Staley, fan base is going to be out to get them. And these are 2 quarterbacks that don't seem like they can win big games. Good quarterbacks, skill-wise, in Prescott and Herbert, but neither one of those guys wins big games.
It's like that LSU-Auburn game when it was Les Miles, Gus Malzahn. And remember that they didn't get the playoff, I think, and don't know if he was in the end zone.
No, it was a clock management, remember? He wasted all that time and then threw it. If he gets tipped, ball game's over.
Last play of the game, touchdown to walk off.
Yeah, and he got fired right after that game.
Oh, you're talking about a different game. Yeah,
okay. Yeah, no.
You know, Lance and I are talking about the one where LSU scored at the end.
Against Auburn down in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, you're talking about where they're trying to get the other playoff and couldn't do it.
Yeah. And they threw it in the end zone. I think it was a touchdown.
Yeah, but it was snapped late.
Yeah, snapped after the clock went to zeros. And Les Miles got fired after that game. And most people thought they were going to fire Gus if he lost that game afterwards. It was like a loser fire game.
The old fireball.
We got that in the NFL this weekend, you think, with McCarthy and the guy
and Brandon Staley.
Yeah. That's interesting. One more NFL note here, and then an amazing college stat.
I found an amazing college stat, too. I don't know if we got the same one.
Oh, we'll save yours for the last segment.
Okay.
We'll get mine in right
You'll have
here.
to remind me.
Our friends at Wayne's want to celebrate 50 years. Here's a reminder for you, Brown. Wayne's is really good at what they do. You know that. You're a customer.
That's right.
They've been providing world-class pest control and termite protection for 50 years, and they want to say thank you to all the loyal customers. And if you want to be a new customer, you can get this too, but this is for existing customers as well. To say thank you, if you visit callwaynes.com, you can enjoy $50 off pest control and termite protection. Callwaynes.com is the website. Callwaynes.com, just to say thank you to our friends at Wayne's, celebrating 50 years of great service. It's our friends at Wayne's Pest Control. NFL note here first. I don't know what happened at his house, but it is a sad situation for David Njoku of the Browns, right? Is that who he plays for, Cleveland? Forrester was showing this to me on social media. This is him entering the game, walking into the stadium, because he had an accident at his house that somehow burned his face. So this is what he wears into the game, and he makes a post afterwards. Don't feel sorry for me. Feel sorry for people that are not as strong. He sends a tight picture of his face. He burned his face, it looks like.
I get that, but if you're not trying to bring attention to yourself, the full-length chinchilla with no shirt underneath.
And the mask
and
from
then the mask.
What's that movie Kevin Bacon's in where he's invisible?
Yeah, the Invisible
Hollow
Man.
Man.
Hollow Man. Yeah. That's the mask he used to wear. That's the mask he wore in Hollow Man.
Yeah, I look, it's terrible whatever happened there, but it looks like he's not afraid of attention.
Yeah.
I think he's posting that I'm going to embrace this look. That I've got to live with now.
That's Deontay Wilder. I mean, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder is walking in to get ready and wrapped for a fight.
So we have no idea what happened though, because his face has burns all over.
It just says an accident at the house.
But
it's a little vague.
No, it is quite vague. But he didn't miss a game, right?
Did he miss it one game, or he played? He played in every game. Yeah.
No, he played.
I mean, that's I don't know what that could be, because normally if you are burned that bad, it's open wounds. You could never play in an NFL game.
Yeah, that's
I don't know. That's a weird deal.
It's really
there, man.
strange.
Yeah.
It looks like maybe a cooking accident. Maybe.
Yeah, but there again, it would normally be open wounds.
Yeah, just hope. I love the way he's embracing it. Hopefully, he continues mentally and physically to be okay with it. Just a unique look of the post there that he made walking into the stadium this weekend. All right, here's my football stat before LT tells us about our friends at Simpio. This weekend, Oregon-Washington. What a big game.
Yeah, Herb Street Fowler doing that game. They're doing game day and then sticking around doing that game at 2:30 if you care
Just
about
like
those
last
things.
week, they did game day and walked into the 11 o'clock game.
Yeah, Herb Street has to get after it for that one, though. He has to go from the end zone to the booth, and he normally does it in like 2 minutes. I don't know how they pull that
And
off.
if you were watching, the changeover from outside set to inside set for game day, they let Fowler handle that segment. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
They just went to Fowler on a microphone, midfield, and a shoulder cam, which means nothing to you guys, but it was very casual. He just talked, set the scene. Then he walked this way, and he interviewed Brent Venables. Then he sets the scene as he's walking. He walks the other side, and he interviewed Sark. Was wonderful television.
And I'll tell you what else was good was in the pick segment when Baker Mayfield got the Sooner gun, that the coach used to shoot, and he shoots it, and then Corso puts on the cow head, the Bevo head, and Baker goes, "I'm going to shoot it anyway." And he reloads and shoots again. Baker was really good on that.
Here's the college football stat. So Oregon-Washington, great game. First time since 2004 that it's a Pac-12 teams meeting of two 5-0 teams or better since 2004.
Say that again now. So since 2004, we have not had 5-0 or 5-0.
5-0 or better. Two unbeaten teams, 5 wins or better, face each other in the Pac-12 since 2004.
And you wonder why they're never in the college football playoff.
The SEC, since the same time, it's happened 15 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. That's hard to believe the Pac-12 hasn't had one slide in. I'll tell you, this is the final year in the Pac-12 has been a special year thus far.
Yep.
And the first time, this will be the two highest scoring teams meeting in the Pac-12 for the first time in their history, as far as two undefeateds.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the last regular season Pac-12 game that I felt like was I know you're interested in USC Notre Dame, but for me, the game of the day is obviously Washington, Oregon. And I can't remember a regular season Pac-12 game that has done this for me in a while.
No, I'm with you. I agree.
This week would be incredible if you look at two things. If Miami wouldn't have blown, all they had to do was a victory formation.
Miami, North Carolina.
North Carolina. And on the other side, if Notre Dame would have showed up against Louisville, you've got undefeated SC and Notre Dame. I mean, that's 3 marquee games.
Absolutely.
That would have been fantastic. Okay. Before he tells us about Simpio, Elliott says, I heard it was a fire pit accident. Double D says, looks like a chemical pill.
That's kind of what I thought.
Gone wrong.
Yeah, I kind of thought a chemical pill going wrong. Again, fire, normally you've got like open bloody wounds that he could not have played in a game in.
That's right. Tell us about Simpio. We'll get to break trash coming up next segment.
Yeah, one of the first calls we made here at the next round was to Blake Patterson and the fine folks at Simpio, because they're going to take care of all the BS in every single office. When your company joins Simpio, they're going to take care of the 4 pillars: compliance, HR, payroll, benefits. When your company joins Simpio, you gain access to healthcare and employer benefits at only the large organizations get. You can join Simpio anytime if you're no annual contract. With that being said, they've got a 99% retention rate. Call them today, 205-635-7467 or Simpio.com.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, and compression therapy all under one roof. It's our friends at Hydra Live Therapy. IV therapy treatments are packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, and boost your immune system, and more. If you mention the Next Round at checkout, save 20% off any service. You can join the IV League today. Members are rewarded with deep discounts. Make sure you ask about that. Hydra Life Therapy open 7 days a week. Homewood, Tuscaloosa, and coming soon to Greystone. Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the Next Round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent Trane dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a Trane. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast. The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast like Bama and Bourbon, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine prepared fresh daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with walk-ons.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
DryTech Water Restoration is a locally owned company that specializes in mold remediation, fire and water damage cleanup, and SteraMist services. DryTech's goal is to provide clients with expert guidance when dealing with any home disaster. DryTech's highly trained specialists are available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. They will work closely with you and your insurance company to make sure the process is stress-free as possible. Call DryTech today, 205-637-0143. The moment you discover damage to your home, DryTech's team will handle the rest. The Next Round Golf Cart is here. Your chance to play 4 area golf courses for just $89. Get 18 holes in cart at Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. A $247 value for just $89. Get your golf cart now at nextround.store.
All right, here we go, man. Trash is coming up, but we got a big event at the Comedy Club next week, LT.
Yeah, next Wednesday night, our friend TJ Miller, one night only at the Comedy Club Stardome right there in Hoover.
The Gentle Giant.
The Gentle Giant. He's got some awesome hair.
He's got one of the best. He should do a lot of animated stuff because he's got an animated voice. For
He kinda does,
It's such a good voice, like for an animated character.
Yeah.
I will say I've seen him multiple times. Rocky, you've seen him.
Love him.
He is one of the more intelligent comedians, and he gets on some tangents. He gets out there, man. He's one of the most sought-after comedians in the world right now. It's the Gentle Giant Tour. If you're watching, you see it right there. Our man, TJ Miller, 444-0008. Again, it's only one night, next Wednesday, the 18th. It's an 18-and-up show. Doors open at 6:15. The show's at 7:30. If you want to see TJ Miller, we're going to be doing something with him here on the Next Round. Make sure you go online, stardome.com or 444-0008.
You know what we should do? And just thinking on the air, we should buy tickets. We should go as a group and sort of have a meetup. Everyone buy tickets who are watching. We just all have a meetup there. Everybody just sit at the table at 6:15 when the doors open, order and eat there, and enjoy a great night of laughter with the family.
Yeah, we've had the opportunity to hang backstage with him.
Yeah.
He brings some interesting stuff in town.
Okay.
His entourage.
Okay.
He's got a lot of Birmingham connections.
All right, here we go. It's trash time, LT. Trent Dilfer in the segment after this, but it is time for Rockstar to hit the big button, brought to you by Mortgage Right.
I was in the bathroom taking a shave, and I heard a screeching, something between a screech and a whistle. I said, what in the world is this? And I heard a boom.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Hey, if you're walking down the street and that dude jumped out and did that scream in front of your face, it'd scare you?
Yep. Absolutely. When I am deaf at the end of my life, it's going to be from that open and the guy asking the question at the Penn State press conference a minute ago.
You had a double doozy today.
Those two things have just about killed me today.
You do run with your volume
very
high.
I cannot, when we're on headsets, when I'm in here with my in-ears, I have to have myself loud, and I just do not feel right talking if I'm not loud in my own ears. You know what I'm saying?
I try to keep it as low as I can.
Yep, I'm the exact opposite.
I wear one headphone.
I've noticed.
I do too. Sometimes I prefer it to be this way.
I
That's
cannot
the
do
old
that.
TV.
Can you hear soft talkers?
Not really. No,
Yeah.
no. I have damaged my hearing over the years. There is no doubt I have. But I have to have it loud. I am not comfortable with it turned down.
Because we were about to record Talk of Champions, which we do on the studio on the far side of Brown over there, and we could not figure out where the show was coming from. Forrester was like, "I'm still getting the show in the microphones. I don't know how it's picking up." And I said, "Check Brown's headphones."
Yeah, that's right. I mean, like when I pull this out like this, I just feel naked. I don't want you guys to see me naked.
Let the experts at Mortgage Right help get your financial house in order.
Again.
Locations in Birmingham and Leeds. Mortgage Right offers a variety of loan products, fast, free pre-approvals, reliable hands assistance that will help you take advantage of all home buying and refinance options. Take control today. Visit Mortgage Right at their locations, Highway 280 in Birmingham, Parkway Drive in Leeds. You can apply. MortgageRight.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200. NMLS 2239. Equal housing lender. So we've got some visuals for this. The best mullets across the U.S. vying to scoop the title. The winner of the 2023 main event, spelled M-A-N-E.
Are these kids again? Remember the kid
No,
ones?
these are the adult versions, and I see that this thing, the mullet and the mustache, has become huge now, especially in baseball.
Yeah,
the mullet and the mustache. And who was the guy at the Louisville game?
Oh, Jack Harlow.
Who is that?
He's a musician, rapper.
Yeah, he's a rapper.
They kept showing him
Louisville native.
Yeah.
But
Right.
here
I started watching Louisville Notre Dame. That was the upset in that sentence. That,
no, I just saw those highlights. I probably saw about 6 plays.
Okay.
You clicked on F. There you go.
Here's old Bobby Ray. This is the Bobby Ray.
Wow.
Bobby's got some thick hair.
Yeah, that is a good mullet.
Bobby Ray.
I mean, that's a Billy Ray Cyrus mullet from back in the days.
Yeah, Bobby Ray. Yeah, the old
Kenny
curly
Powers.
mullet. Yeah, Kenny Powers look, got the shaved
And
sides.
you have to wear the Oakleys, those old.
There's no doubt.
Everybody's wearing those.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Now that's a good one.
Wow, that's a wig.
Man, it's got to be because it's got like plaster in it.
Yeah, that's got to be a wig.
It's the competition, man. It can't be a wig. You can't fake it.
Barry Bonds cheated his whole career.
Hey, he's true American though. We the people, right there
He's
with the
got
heart.
the Constitution on his. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Scrappy.
Yeah.
How do you know, right there?
You don't mess with Scrappy.
Well, I think what he did is I've got such a baby face. I got to do something to take attention away from that.
Try to toughen up, but you're right. He's a baby face. You're going to get pushed around on the O-line.
Oh, wow.
That's the Kenny Powers.
Wow. He looks a little too happy.
Why is everybody wearing American flag stuff? That's what it is. Everybody has to wear American flag stuff.
I love our country, man. Mullet's America.
Oh, wow. That looks like somebody we know, doesn't it?
It does, Jim, but I can't figure out who it is.
I can't either.
But
looks
it
like
does.
somebody we know.
It does look like
Hey, is
someone
it your man Ish with a?
Oh, it is.
with
It's
a mullet?
Ush's eyes. It's Ush.
Okay.
It's Ush in the face.
Yeah.
His
That's the
eyes,
last one.
nose, mouth.
He cannot grow a mullet.
Yeah, he cannot.
That's the
But
last
it
one.
is his face.
Oof.
It's like Ush's face and somebody else's hair.
Now, I had wings that touched my collar when I was in school. You know, that's how long my hair was.
Yeah,
it would flip out and touch my collar.
Yeah, I had the collar look.
Yeah, I don't know if that was considered a mini mullet or what, but I had it. And I once
the
also
old
got
neck blanket, man.
I know. I once also got the stripes cut in the side of my head right over
No,
my.
you didn't.
I did 100%. My mom almost killed my brother.
How were you, Mr. Echo, getting stripes cut over your ear?
This was in elementary school, maybe middle school, and I think it was it MC Hammer or Prime Time or both that had those cuts.
MC Hammer was the one that started it.
Yeah, and that was when that was really hot. And my brother took me to get a haircut, and I talked him into doing it. And I thought my mom was going to kill my brother. She was like, "I cannot believe you let your brother."
We cannot have all these girls coming over all the time.
David says every boy in Vestavia has a mullet right now. It's a little area around here.
Yeah, all the kids wear them.
Children's Hospital, I did a lot over the years to try to raise money. One time I auctioned off whoever donated the most money could I'd get their name shaved in the back of my head back when I had hair. And
Alejandro, congratulations.
Yeah, that'd have been tough.
Sarah Mary Catherine James.
I forget the girl's name that I got shaved into the back of my head, but I had to walk the person who cut my hair back then and have her. She basically bold cut it and then cut it in on the stubble on the back of my head. Was ready for that one to grow out.
Mrs. Butterworth's and Warren Brothers Discovery Global Consumer Products are teaming up to celebrate the holiday season with a mix kit inspired by the film Elf.
Oh, wow.
Now, in honor of the movie's 20th anniversary, companies are rolling out the limited edition Elf-themed sugar cookie pancakes mix kit. Does it have any sugar in it?
It's got to be. You got to put spaghetti in it.
That was one of the food groups, right? Sugar?
Yeah. It was sugar, candy canes.
Cotton candy, sugar candy, candy canes, cotton candy, and there was syrup, right?
Maybe.
Weren't those the food groups? Yeah.
Hence Mrs. Buttersworth. Yeah, it had syrup in there.
Yeah.
Because he would drink the syrup, right?
Yeah.
Right out of the bottle.
Loved it. Loved it. They always carried some on him. Next one, 24 first responders helped rescue a cemetery worker who became trapped in a grave on Tuesday afternoon. Incident happened at the Holy Cross Cemetery around 1 p.m. Officials said a funeral service had just wrapped up when the 47-year-old worker fell through a wood board about 6 feet down into an open grave, appeared to separate his shoulder, leaving him injured, unable to move. Rescue technicians deployed trench panels and ground pads to stabilize the area in and around the pit. Man was rescued shortly after 2 o'clock, so he was in a grave for an hour.
And they have footage of him, of pulling him out, and like they aggressively pull him out. I don't know why, but I don't know how. Just how it took like 9 guys to do it. It's with a separated shoulder too.
It's only 6 feet down there. Just jump in there and.
I think a separated shoulder is kind of painful.
Do you feel like
him out.
You feel like you got a second chance on life though once you come out of there? It's like I was in the grave for an hour.
Yeah. I was so glad they were able to get Sky 13 out there to get us an aerial footage of this. You know, it's some guy with a drone. Everything's a drone now.
Oh, all the kids using them.
You know, I had a buddy that came up here to talk to us, and you guys talked to him. Good guy. He's rehabilitated. He has become
I liked him.
a contributor to society, but he is down to 1 strike. So if something happens, he's going to prison for life. We've got a 29-time felon awaiting sentencing on number 30 for shooting down a drone that was harassing him.
There you go. Drone's done away.
No, that's a transition I didn't know was coming.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy looks rough.
Well, he
That's
does.
your Adrian Brody nose you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So these are different muck shots. I mean, look how he's aged, though, from left to right.
Prison will do that to
His
you, I
third
imagine.
cut, his third haircut was the way I'd stick with him. That's his best look.
I think I probably would too.
Probably get a job on
Have
that
you ever
third
done
one.
a shirtless mugshot?
Well, you know it's a rough day if you do.
It did not
I mean,
go
look,
well.
he's on the freaking roids. Look how he's gone from the second one, the shoulders, to the last one. He's on the roids.
Fired up.
Well, anyway, this man in Florida who had been convicted of felonies 29 times made it 30 when he shot down a drone that a sheriff's office was using at a crime scene. Wendell Goney, the man you see there, 52, took a plea deal and pleaded guilty for possession of a firearm as a convicted felon. Now, he's facing 10 years in federal prison. The Fed said Lake County Sheriff's deputies responded to a burglary at a 10-acre property. They were using a drone to help search it until it was, quote, destroyed by gunfire. Now, the deputies went next door, found Goney, said he, quote, admitted that he had just shot down the drone with a .22 caliber rifle. He said the drone had been, quote, harassing him.
I mean, that is bad luck. Like, you are legit getting harassed, you think, by a drone. You shoot it down. It happens to belong to the sheriff's department who's using it in an active investigation.
Damn it, this is my 30th strike.
Yeah, I mean, you know you're going to jail for that one.
Catch a break.
This is a big one.
I mean, dude does not have great luck, though. You got to admit.
Nothing like online debates. A few days ago, TikTok user at DaisyKU_ posted a video of her and her friend waiting for a bill. Now, the video had a viral sound put over it. It was visible the two women had finished their meals and their plates stacked up over the video. It was written that they had been waiting 45 minutes and at this point were asking when it's okay to dine and dash. Now, in the video, creator managed to show more piled up dishes and her friend waiting. She also showed that the dining room was empty, so the place couldn't make an excuse as they were packed and the servers were busy. It was empty and the women were waiting for nearly an hour for the bill. The women asked how long one should wait before dining and dashing.
I'll go ahead and tell you, I don't wait long before I get up and go chase somebody down because I have a big philosophy that when I sit down initially, I want somebody quickly to get me something to drink. It can take a long time before I order, before my food comes out. I understand, but as soon as I sit down, I'd like something to drink. And when it's time for me to go, I don't think I should have to wait to give you my money.
I went to a place one time with a restaurant owner, and we sat down and didn't get served for a little bit, and he was antsy. or the server didn't even come ask for drinks. He goes, in my places, and he owns multiple restaurants, he goes, the standard is 2 minutes.
Yeah.
The minute they sit down and they put those menus down, my staff has 2 minutes to get to them and get their drink order, or they have not done it.
Well, that's why you got to have communication in a restaurant business.
Right. You're not supposed to seat unless I'm telling you I'm about to seat somebody at your table.
Yeah. You've got to, whether the hostess wants to take over that job of getting the beverage order, or the server's got to know. But yeah, that's about right. About 2 minute turnaround.
Hey, and it's okay with me to do that, man. To say, hey, I'm going to sit you down and we'll get you the drinks right here.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk to Trent Dilfer of UAB when we come back. Show the trash there brought to you by the great folks at Mortgage Right.
Yeah, are you a veteran looking for a VA loan? Mortgage Right has been advocating for veterans since their company began. As a veteran-owned, operated company committed to your well-being, they can help you find the best terms, guide you through every step of the process. Visit their locations, Highway 280 in Birmingham, Parkway Drive in Leeds. You can apply, mortgageright.com/TNR, or call 205-815-9200.
And also by our friends at Hemp Hill. Great time to get checked on that heating and cooling right now as the cold weather's coming, man. Perfect weather right now, but it's going to get cold. For all your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name Birmingham's trusted since 1954. Hemp Hill Services, 205-229-2090, 229-2090.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
It's time for a little NBA basketball in Birmingham. Legacy Arena, October 12th. Pelicans and Rockets in town, and you need to get your tickets right now. Call them up, 205-719-0850, and book your NBA tickets in Birmingham. 205-719-0850, or just simply go to birminghamsquadron.com. When the Pelicans and Rockets play in Birmingham, you'll get to see local players like Herb Jones and Kyra Lewis Jr., Jabari Smith, as well as superstars Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. If you become a Squadron season ticket holder, you get complimentary tickets to this huge event right here in the Magic City. Again, get more details and buy those tickets right now. BirminghamSquadron.com. Remember, this NBA preseason game sold out in Birmingham last year, so don't get left outside. Get those tickets now. 205-719-0850 or BirminghamSquadron.com.
IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, and compression therapy all under one roof. It's our friends at HydroLive. Mention Next Round at checkout. Save 20% off any service. HydroLive's got 3 locations, Homewood, Tuscaloosa, and coming soon to Greystone.
Do you need extra cash handy? Look no further than Legacy Credit Union for whatever loan your lifestyle requires. It only takes a few minutes to apply and request the amount you need to give you peace of mind. With affordable low rates and manageable payback plans, a Legacy Lifestyle loan is crafted just for you. Apply online today at legacycreditunion.com/join. Lifestyle loans from Legacy. Terms and conditions may apply. Legacy is federally insured by the NCUA. The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Legacy has been such a great supporter of UAB athletics and just the entire UAB family, even before they played athletics. For 60 years, Legacy's been helping UAB, and they want to help you right now with everyday checking. It's available for your teenagers. Now, what a great lesson. 13 to 17-year-old with adult sign-up. Teach your kids how to manage their money and handle their debit card responsibly. No monthly fees, no minimum balance requirements, and you get paid early as well. Apply online in minutes today at legacycreditunion.com/join. Legacycreditunion.com/join. Terms and conditions may apply. Legacy is federally insured by the NCUA. You know what you need?
What?
You need
What
one of
do I
those,
need?
You need one of those small little disclaimers at the end when you're playing Trent Dilfer's UAB team right now, because they opened up a can of whoop ass this past week.
They did, in fact, do that. The coach is with us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, coming off the win over South Florida and Birmingham. Hello, Coach. How are you today?
I'm doing good, you guys. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. If you were to give a number grade 1 to 100 to that performance, and perhaps you do and are willing to share it with us, how did that team grade out Saturday? It's as good as you guys look to my eye.
Yeah, definitely the best we've played. Still in the high 70s, I would venture to say. C+. We benefited from some very poor USF play. I'm sure Coach Golish, you got after him on Sunday. They made some foolish mistakes that gave us an upper hand. We did execute much better than we have in the past. I thought defensively against a very high-powered offense, we got, after the first touchdown, really came up with some huge stops and neutralized a very difficult offense to stop, and then got the ball in really good field position for our offense. Jermaine Brown's goal played great for us, got us out of some jams with his vision and cuts. And the passing game, after we got going a little bit, passing game showed up in some critical moments. But, I came in Sunday and had a 41 play tape that I showed them of how far from the standard we are. It wasn't meant to hurt their feelings. I poured all kinds of perfume on them at first about getting better and how they're approaching the work week and their decision making and how they played in the game, but wanted to point out to them that we're not even close as good as we can be by showing them 41 plays where we weren't even close to good enough.
You don't see a lot of games opened up with an onside kick, and I know ultimately after the review didn't work out, but how early in the week did you tell you guys were going to do that, and how excited were they?
I didn't tell them. Building loose lips sink ships, and I've learned that with 180 something people in the building, it's inevitable information is going to get out. So I decided Friday afternoon that I was going to do it. The first kick of the game, I didn't tell a single human until about 6 minutes before we did it. So I want to keep things as close to the vest as possible and not let any information out of the building when things are of that nature.
Frank Harris was the talk of the preseason in this league, the great UTSA quarterback. But your quarterback, Jacob Zeno, has been stealing a lot of headlines. He was a Manning Award star of the week at the quarterback position this week. Can you take me back from when you first got on campus to his growth right now on some things that he is doing better and better each week? Because he does seem to be doing what you're supposed to do, and that's getting better every week.
Yeah, I hopefully that's our calling card. You know what I mean? What we want is to get better at every position. As coaches, we're trying to get better. I mean, you should see how hard I've been grinding myself and the staff the last, really the whole season, but especially the last 4 weeks on making sure that we're getting better every week. And we need tangible proof of it. A player has that proof with how he performs. A coach is a little more subjective. So, we're grading each other. We have projects every day. We're making sure that we have the opportunity to lead by example, that as coaches, we're getting better every day. Therefore, as players, you should. And I know it's a long-winded way of getting to your question, but Jacob has followed that lead. Since the first day we stepped on campus, we were very honest with them. We're like, hey, we identify these things about you that we really like, and here's some things that you need to get significantly better at. And the challenge is to get better at the things you're already good at and slowly start picking away at the things that you're not as good at. And he's fully embraced that process. He knows that the standard for the quarterback play in our building is probably higher than it is anywhere in the country. I would say it's the hardest job in the country to play quarterback at UAB, not because of the media, obviously, not because of that stuff, but because of who's coaching you. Like, how many people have a 14-year NFL quarterback? Now, a very average one at that, but in your ear every day. And then Alex Mortensen, who's trained 3 first-round picks, and Nick Coleman, who's played it and coached it at a very high level, and Danny Mitchell, who's coached it in high school, college, pros. Another guy, Allison Appleby, who's a receiver coach, yet played it in the SEC. I mean, we got quarterbacks up the yin yang here, and every one of us expects perfection from the perfection and preparation every single day from that position. And Jacob just continues to respond in a great way.
Dunaway mentioned Frank Harris, the Roadrunners quarterback, and I thought it was going to be a special season for him, and you can't control injuries, gets the toe hurt, misses multiple starts. But the Frank Harris we saw last week against Temple is what most people expected to see. He looks healthy. He looks ready to roll.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I haven't slept all week. This kid's a fantastic player and a fantastic competitor. You know, I mean, like their team just has a different countenance to them. Two things that we have really huge challenges ahead of us: Frank being healthy, and then number two, them at home. Like they're a different team at home. They play different. There's an energy to their team, a juice, a physicality that's just way different when they play in that dome. So we have massive challenge ahead of us. I didn't let anybody around here, smell the aroma of their victory, because as soon as I put on that tape Sunday of UTSA, I was like, oh, wow, like, here we go. This, I don't like making comparisons on teams, but this is an equal, if not greater challenge than Tulane. They do some things very, very well, have some very, very dynamic football players. So we've had a great week of practice. I will say that they've responded well. I just got done talking to them on the field. I said, that's back-to-back great weeks of practice. I'd say yesterday, today were two of our, if not the best practices of the year, close to it. And they're starting to realize that when you practice at a high level, when you prepare at a high level, you're going to play at a high level.
UAB, UTSA, a little bit of what has turned into a rivalry game carried over from Conference USA into the American. Did you ever coin the phrase Dilfer dimes back in the day, that if anybody uses that, do you get paid for that, like the guy who screams at the beginning of boxing matches, who I can't even say it on the air without getting fined?
That's very interesting you asked that, because I did not, because I actually stole dimes from – is a term that was used for basketball forever. I think I know I started it with football, but I couldn't copyright it, trademark it, because it had been used in a sports context. Now, what I did trademark and actually own the trademark to is physicality.
Wow.
Based on the research our lawyers did, I was the first person in the sports realm in 1997 after a playoff game to talk about my team having great physicality. And therefore, I've been able to trademark that, but I was not able to trademark Dilfer's dimes.
How about that? That word gets used a lot. I am surprised. Physicality.
Yeah, I mean, do you get a check in the mail every month?
We're working on it.
Well, do us a favor.
If we do, it'll go straight to NIL.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Well, do us a favor as among friends here. Don't go back and look at any of our 552 shows before this, because we're small business. I don't know if we can afford to pay you.
Hey, speaking of NIL, I'm sure you saw Mark Stoops in the club. I mean, look, Georgia is Georgia. They're going to have one of the biggest collectives out there. But do you feel what he's saying? Like, I mean, you want us to be able to compete with the big ones. If you're a diehard fan, whatever you can throw our way, we need.
Yeah, I don't know if Georgia was the best example of that. I mean, I know how Kirby runs his show, and they're doing a great job of giving everybody on that roster, kind of like what Utah did with the trucks. They're doing a great job giving everybody on that roster some money, which I think is awesome for college football. You guys know my stance on this. I love NIL. I think every player should make as much possible off their name, image, and likeness as they can. I don't want to be that needy coach, but for the UAB fans out there, you have zero chance of competing. Zero. And it's mainly retaining your own roster. It's not recruiting. And this is, I think, where Stoops could have done a better job. The money isn't in the recruiting. It is some. It's in the retention of your roster. It's in the ability to keep the kids that you have developed. I'll give you a great example. We're recruiting, I can't use names, we're recruiting a tight end that has Brock Bowers type traits, but he's not there yet, right? He's probably 25 pounds light. He needs 18 months in the weight room. He looks like Brock looked like though in high school. But what the Power Fives are doing is they're waiting for UAB or Tulane or UTSA or Samford or somebody else to find this kid and develop him and then go get him and pay him. Well, we developed him, right? We've invested in that kid. We've loved that kid. We fed that kid. We've trained that kid. He's learned our system. We've been patient with him when he sleeps in and misses class. And, all those different things go through at the college student. We've invested in him as, group of fives or lower levels FCS programs. And then the big programs with all the money come in and swipe them away. And the haves look at the have-nots as developmental rosters for the minor leagues. If you're the Yankees and you're poaching the Orioles minor league club, right? If you're the NBA team, if you're the Pelicans and you're poaching the G League team of the Warriors, you're letting somebody else develop and then you're paying them. And that's why collectives, Magic City Impact, are so important, because I got some really good players, as you can tell, who are young, who everybody in America is cutting up their film right now. So every Power 5 personnel department has analysts. All they do is go cut up the film from the previous week of all the group of fives players. And they're doing these 100-play cut-ups. So these players like, oh, so-and-so from UAB is a really productive young player that could help us. Well, then through a third party or an agent or some creative way, they contact that family and that kid and say, hey, we got all this money for you. And that's the problem. The recruiting stuff, that's a little overblown. I think there are guys getting money in recruiting, but not nearly as much as the poaching of players from current rosters.
Yeah, great answer.
That is a fantastic answer. I'm not a recruiting analyst, but that kid that looks like Brock Bowers, you're going to want to sign him, okay?
He's special.
Yeah,
he really is. I hope we get it, but I hope we get him and keep him.
I hope so too. UAB at UTSA, 7:00, ESPNU from the Alamo Dome. Best of luck, Coach. We can't wait to see the game and talk to you about it next week.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Take care. That is Coach Trent Dilfer with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline presented by Legacy.
Yeah, LegacyCreditUnion.com for all that they have to offer right there. Also by our friends at Hemphill. They got a great offer right now in the month of October.
They sure do, Donaway. 205-229-2090. Adam, Chad, Andrew. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you for the month of October. 0% for 60 months for qualified customers, plus free Wi-Fi upgrade, 10-year labor warranty on any system replacement, and $69 fall tune-ups. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train, Hemphill Services.
Brian Edwards, who works out of Vegas. I followed him on Twitter for quite a while. Vegas B. Edwards on Twitter. And he's just kind of an analyst out there. In its last 17 games against Power 5 opponents, Auburn. Now, he counts Houston as a Power 5. They were not a Power 5 when they played them in the bowl game, but they are now. So he counted them. Last 17 games against Power 5 opponents. What do you imagine Auburn's record is?
I would say that they are 4-13.
I'm going to say 5-12.
3-14. You weren't even bad enough.
Yeah.
3-14.
Here's a coach fired.
Here's the one that blew me away, though. In their last six against Power 5 games, they haven't even thrown for 100 yards. 6 consecutive games, they haven't thrown for 100 yards against Power 5.
100 yards?
I mean, that's what he says. Auburn has failed to produce more than 94 pass yards in 6 straight games against Power 5 opponents.
How many 80-pound over-the-mountain teams have gone that long without 100
that is not a lot
passing?
to ask, is it? 100 pass yards. And that he says, I haven't done the math here, but 6 straight Power 5 games, they haven't done that. That's crazy to think about.
That is.
I don't even think you believe it, Dunaway.
I don't. I just don't like the way you ended on a bad stat for Auburn to end the show.
Well,
if you're an Auburn fan, you got to sleep with that all night.
Well, give us something good about the Braves.
You're not going to bait me in, man. A big game tonight for the Braves. That's all I'll say. Just after 7 o'clock. That's our show today. We've got a bonus clip coming up here at the top of the hour. Thank you to our friends at Champies, Highway 119 in Alabaster, Sterling and the crew. They bring you this hour of the show. Go like, subscribe, and thumbs up everything. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstone. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. The next round,
Brad Law.
presented
You and I
by
ran
Bud
into
Light,
each other at the gym at the
is
crack
on
of dawn this
now.
morning, Brad Law. First thing is I handed you
All right.
some Manscaped products. More on that in a second. Not to get too personal here, but that happened. The second thing that happened in our interaction is you just got done listening to my other show, Locked on Auburn. You looked me in the eye and you said, no, Auburn can't score enough to keep up with LSU. So my question is, why is that? Why is that?
I say that based on the first 2 road games of the year. Now, I also have an asterisk, a caveat to that.
Yeah.
I'll get to that. But yeah, the first 2 road games of the year, the offense hasn't been in sync. And however you want to disperse the blame or the responsibility or the task of fixing it, however you want to lay that out, the fact of the matter is that the offense has scored 14 and 10 points in these. Well, and the offense didn't even get 10 against Texas A&M. That was a scoop and score. So the touchdowns have been very few, too few, and far between in these road environments. And LSU's defense is not good. That's well documented. Statistics back that up. And we're almost halfway through the season. So there's not an anomaly at play. Their defense isn't good. But you're going to see now, is the Auburn offense going to be able to establish an identity away from Jordan-Hare Stadium? 2 games is, all right, first game of the year, Cal, they're a million miles away. Fine.
Sure.
Texas A&M, SEC game, really good defense on the road, 1,000 degrees. Fine. If it happens 3 times,
so you are.
That's a trend.
Yeah.
And it's a problem.
Yep. And look, I mean, this is going to be a hostile environment. I don't think there's any question about that, but I do think LSU's defense, and we'll touch on some of these numbers at stat time later in the show, Brad, but I think if Auburn has a similar game plan to what they did against Georgia and run the football, have long drives, have these drives that, you have 7, 8, 9 play drives consistently where your defense has a shot, I think that's huge. The issue and my biggest concern with Saturday's game, and there's 2. One is LSU scores twice in like the first quarter, then it's over. It's over because I don't think Auburn can come back. The other is, okay, it's close in the fourth quarter. And it's just, I think if it's close in the fourth quarter, I give all the advantage to LSU because they can just score so quickly in one play to neighbors. That's it, right? And the way Jaden Daniels is playing, he's going to get his, and it's going to happen with these quick strikes. So that's my biggest concern. How do you stop that? You have long, sustained drives on offense. And I think Auburn can do it by rushing the football.
I think they have to do it that way. And as I listened to your Locked on Auburn show today, I had the thought as I was going through the squat rack and I was about to, pick up the weight and do the thing that I do, not as well as many other people. Anyway, the thought was, would last year's November team be able to move the football better or worse than this year's Auburn team? Because November's team last year just said, we're going to run the ball 18 different ways.
Yeah.
Balance wasn't really a word that was in their vocabulary. They weren't, and they made no bones about it. We're not going to come out and try to be balanced. And they had several 200-yard rushing games, but they weren't balanced. They barely beat A&M, and they beat Western Kentucky and had a tremendous second half against Mississippi. So that's my question is, would that team that just says, forget balance, we're just going to run it and run it and run it and run it, would they have more success than the team we've seen so far offensively?
Yeah, I guess what we're comparing here is 4 or 5 games. And I mean, maybe their most impressive offensive performance may have been in the Iron Bowl, right? Which was a loss, but they ran it down Alabama's throat. We're comparing that against what they did against Georgia.
Yeah, but to your point, in that Iron Bowl, when Alabama scored a couple of times quickly,
it was over.
That was it. There was no quick strike ability in the passing game. No thought that you could get back in it in a hurry.
Yeah. I mean, just because it's more proven, I would say Auburn's offense last November. But I think the upside of this current team is way higher.
Yeah.
I mean, and we've talked about this before, and Hugh Freeze talked about, 6 of 9 or 6 of 10 plays were on coaches and like whatever. That's cool. And, 6 of the 9 incompletions by Peyton Thorne hit receivers in the hands, not calling it drops, not saying it was all on Peyton, not saying it was all on the receivers. But
right.
The fact is you're close. The fact of the matter is on these big crucial plays on third down, you're close.
Yeah.
And can you close that gap over the bye week? And Brad, yes, you can for 2 reasons. One, you got more time together.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, LSU's defense stinks compared to Georgia's and Texas A&M's. I mean, it's just the fact of the matter of it. Now, their offense is way better.
Yep.
And you're going to have to score more. And you're going to have to slow down an effective offense that nobody else has really been able to do yet, with the exception of Florida State at times. But yes, I think Auburn's offense's upside is significantly higher. But I would say, based on what we've seen, the proven stats of what we've seen, I would say the November offense last year was better.
Yeah. Third downs are huge if you're trying to stay on the field.
Sure.
And I know we have stat time coming up, and I love stat time. And in no way would I ever try to steal stat time thunder from you, Zach, because
you can have it.
It's tremendous.
What's mine is yours, brother.
But against Cal, Auburn was 4 for 12 on third down. Against Georgia, or rather against Texas A&M, Auburn was 3 of 15 on third down. Against Georgia, Auburn was 2 of 12. Now against Cal, the third down defense was excellent. Against Texas A&M, the third down defense was okay. Against Georgia owned third down offensively and defensively, but particularly for Auburn on offense. First down is the key to succeeding on third down, but second down's also the key. I mean, I hate to sound too elementary with this, but you get 5 yards on first down, you can't go get 1 yard on second down or move backwards on second down. And that's another issue on the road. In 3 home games, Auburn has a total of 10 penalties. 3 games, 10 penalties. In 2 road games, Auburn has 17 penalties. All right. A penalty on first down. So now you're 1st and 15, 1st and 20, drive killer. Second down and 5 turning into 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 15. That's as much a drive killer, maybe more so, than on first down. So you have to give yourself a shot. If your game plan to go in is to keep the ball for 37, 38 minutes, you're going to have to convert a high volume of third downs. So you must get in 3rd and 3 or less situations to do that.
Yeah, I think that's certainly the case. And I think poor passing attack on first down hurts that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of running the ball on first down. I know analytics say otherwise, but I think it's important, especially with what Auburn's going to need to do, is to keep that clock running, healthy defense as much as possible by limiting the amount of plays that the LSU offense and Jane Daniels is on the field. And I just think running the ball on early downs will be a big part of the game plan on Saturday. It'll be Peyton Thorne running it. I think it'll be several of the running backs running it. Damari also returned to practice yesterday. We'll see if he gets to run the ball on Saturday. Hopefully he does. That'd be astounding and very quick recovery. Props to Damari also for putting in the work there. But that's it. I mean, that's got to be it, Brad. And I've talked about this before too. If you're gonna throw it on first down in these early downs, like I'm okay with it. But throw in some drive starters. Get the ball, get it out of your hands, and put it in the hands of a playmaker. And, Peyton Thorne has the ability to do that. We haven't really seen him do it. They went to it early against Georgia, then never really went back to it. And I'm not talking about screens. I'm just talking about, people know it's coming because, you're not hiding it. Just letting these guys run. It's an extension of the running game.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy completions. The clock doesn't stop. And your goal is not to get 15 yards. Your goal is to get 5, because then that sets up a 2nd and 5, like you were just talking about.
Liberty did that last night against Jack State, and I know we're talking about different levels of competition, but Liberty's unbeaten. Hugh Freeze left them in pretty good shape. But that's what they did most of the night, especially in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter recipe that Liberty rolled out there last night on the road is exactly, I think, the 4-quarter recipe for Auburn. Drive starters, quick passes, and then run the ball. You get in third down in manageable situations, and then you just keep the ball. You just keep it away from the other team the whole time. It frustrates the home crowd. It doesn't give them a chance to get in the game, and it frustrates the opposition, most importantly, because they can't get you off the field.
Yeah, and when you're playing a roster and a team that's better than you, you've got to hold the football and you've got to be boring. Auburn's not going to beat teams better than them this year by being flashy. They're just not. Make it ugly, muddy the waters, and say, hey, you may can score, you may can beat us, but you're going to have to score, 35 points in the 22 minutes of possession.
That's right.
I love that you kind of keep saying 38 minutes. I think that's a good goal for Auburn to have as far as time of possession, because LSU, even if they're losing that battle, they're not going to slow down. They have no problem. They have no problem conceding that because they score so fast. So, it's going to be fun. I love this matchup. I think this matchup pairs better than a lot of the national media and SEC media is giving credit for. I think LSU's a tad overrated with all of this just because their defense is so bad. But their last 2 games, they seem vulnerable. Obviously, they lost one of those games. They were away from home. LSU historically is always better at home, like most teams are. So we'll certainly see how the atmosphere in Baton Rouge plays a factor on Saturday.
You got it. Zach, I gotta talk about something here. Hugh Freeze Monday, when he was talking about LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels, said, and I quote, "His balls are so accurate." And that brings me to our newest sponsor here on Village Vice, Zach. And that's Manscaped.
That's right.
Manscaped. Zach, we both have facial hair,
Sure.
We both also now have the compact face shaver from Manscaped, the Handyman. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that.
Sharp.
Beautiful. Look at that. Can't wait to use it. Going to use it to trim this up a little bit tonight. Landscaping makes land look neat, fresh, well-kept, clean, which is great for land, but you aren't a land. You're a man.
That's right.
So you need manscaping to help you look and feel neat and fresh, well-kept, clean. And right now, our viewers here on Village Vice get a 20% discount when you go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code VICE. Very important that you use the promo code VICE at manscaped.com. Get a 20% discount on the Handyman and all their other products at Manscaped, whether it's for your beard or not for your beard. Manscaped, that's your choice.
And also, today's show is brought to you by our friends at MyBookie. MyBookie is the best place to wager on all of your sports action right now. Auburn, an 11-point dog on the road. And if you're feeling like me, you're saying, you know what, Auburn can run against LSU. Auburn is going to slow the game down. So that 63 points is a little too high. Head over to mybookie.ag, and Brad, doesn't sound real, but when you deposit, make that first deposit and use promo code next round, 110% bonus. Put in $100. How much is that back?
That's 110.
It's 110.
So you're going to have $210 to bet with, play with.
Yep. Inflation's a big topic right now. It's the opposite at mybookie.ag. So head over to mybookie.ag, use promo code next round when you make your first deposit. Brad, are you ready for stat time?
I love stat time. Bring it on.
Auburn is 4th in the SEC in yards per rush at 4.83 yards a carry. We talk about the difference between 1st and 10 or I guess 2nd and 10 and 2nd and 5. That's it. It's Auburn not running the ball on first down. So Tennessee leads the SEC with 6.18 yards per carry. Then Kentucky, what they're doing on the ground is stupid at 5.8. LSU is 3rd at yards per rush at 5.6. And then Auburn is actually tied with 3 teams at 4.83 yards per rush, which is wild to me. Auburn, Mississippi State, and Ole Miss, they're all tied at 4.83 there. So I think that's interesting. But somehow LSU, for the second stat, and then I'll get you to react to both of these at the same time, LSU is allowing 5.04 yards per rush, which is not good.
No, in fact, it's so not good that it's a full half a yard per carry worse than the 13th team in the league. I was going to combat your stat with that stat, but you were already there. Love that. It just goes to we talked about the ability to run the ball against Georgia because of Georgia's rushing, like yards per carry against. And I think that tells you more than just the raw numbers of rushing yards allowed. I think you got to look at how many times teams rush against a particular team and then their success per carry. And the fact that LSU has given up over 5 yards per carry, feed Jarquez, feed Brian Betty, feed Jeremiah Cobb, feed Peyton Thorne, feed Robbie Ashford. It is there for the taking against LSU.
That's right. That's right. So we talked about these long, sustained drives. How do you quantify what a long drive is, Brad Law? It's by total plays. It's by total plays.
Yeah.
LSU is second to last in the SEC with average plays allowed per drive. LSU is allowing opponents to have drives last 6.09 plays per drive. So that tells you not a whole lot of 3 and outs.
Nope.
And allowing lots of longer drives against them.
That line's 11. You're going to have people rushing to mybookie.ag with stats like this. Yeah, first downs are there to be had. And when the game plan is shorten the game, keep Jaden Daniels, that remarkable quarterback for LSU whose balls are so accurate, to keep him off the field, you pick up first downs. You stay on the field. It's there. If you're looking for the recipe, it's right there. It's all highlighted right there.
Right. And Auburn is third in opponents' plays per drive allowed. A&M's first in the conference at 5.11. Vandy's second, surprisingly enough, at 5.19. And then there's Auburn at 5.26. So only 2 teams in the SEC, I believe, were over 6 allowed per drive, and it was LSU, and then South Carolina was a little bit worse than them. So there you go.
Now they've played a good schedule. They've played Florida State. They've played an Ole Miss offense that will move the ball. Missouri can move the ball just fine.
Yep.
They've played good offenses, but again, you're playing a team in Auburn whose strength, whose major identity, like identity A, is to run the football.
Right.
So
Jaden Daniels, his only 2 picks that he's thrown this season have come on plays where he was not under pressure and the defense didn't blitz. Don't know if that really matters. Just thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
And then the last one, Brad, the only split where Daniels' completion percentage drops below 60% is when he's under pressure, which isn't unusual. He's been under pressure on 26% of his throws. That number's high. That number is higher than I expected it to be. So he's 19 for 32 for 363 yards, which is 59%. So barely under 60% when he's under pressure. But the 26% of his throws, he's under pressure. I think that's kind of what's interesting to me.
I think that's interesting too. And how do you quantify that exactly? Where's the line between pressure and no? Is he rolling out and a guy gets close and that's pressure? Is he or is his, is it legitimately when he's flushed out of the pocket? Auburn, maybe we talk more about this tomorrow, but Auburn's defensive strategy against Jaden Daniels, that's going to be something that we talk about as a key to this game, what you cannot do and what you have to do against him. Because I'm kind of like Coach Freeze. You're not going to shut him down. There's no anomaly in those 6 games so far for Jaden Daniels. He's outstanding.
Right.
So how do you keep him contained? And contain is a buzzword this week.
Yeah, it is. And I think the way previous teams have rushed him, they have not done a good job at containing. And in some reps, it didn't even look like they were trying to, Brad. I kind of went on this yesterday a little bit, but I don't think you're going to see that approach on Saturday from this Ron Roberts defense. They've done a decent job at containment, which was a big concern going into the season. They've rocked it. They've nailed it. So I think that's going to be a big storyline on Saturday.
Yep. Absolutely agree. Looking forward to tomorrow. We'll have our Village Vice 6-pack. We'll have buy sell.
Yes, we will. But,
back into it.
Yeah, I think that just about does it though for today's show, Brad.
It does. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Remember, everyone has vices. Everyone has vices. Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.